Hello, everyone, and welcome back to We Bought a Mic for a very special mid-year recap of the best of 2022.
We did it. The best has already occurred. So we're
So far.
6 months in.
We're back in the studio.
Back with the big boy.
We got the
Got
dog
the big
here.
baby here.
We got snacks.
Hey, big stinky.
It's going to be a fun one.
And water.
Welcome.
Shout out to water.
My name's Ernest.
I am pop culture fan Hunter.
And I'm Hydroon.
Stop.
There we go.
Stop.
That's
I'm
good.
out.
All right.
This was fun.
Good start.
This was fun.
And joining us.
And I'm Danny. You've seen me before. Well, heard me.
That's what I was about to say.
For the
heard me.
first time, people were like, "Oh, Danny, is Danny Daddy?"
Wow. Yeah.
Longtime listeners will recognize your voice.
Yeah.
But you are for the first time joining us on the new and improved version of the show on video.
I'm hype. It's a new age.
It is a new age. You are historically one of the probably the most popular guest. We'll see if that carries.
Oh,
Now that
you're
people have
gonna
to
be-
look at your
you're
You're
face,
gonna be like
they're
one of
gonna
those
be like,
silent movie stars who once that you heard their voice, they like, oh, no.
am. My name is Jarek.
You can't be famous anymore.
So if listeners are new and they don't know Danny, you should know that he is the resident musical guest
music.
of We Bought a Mic. But today, things are going to be a little bit different.
Oh, yeah.
Okay? Because we knew we wanted to talk music this year. We knew that another thing that people may know is that our podcasts with you can run very long. So we knew we needed.
Our album of the year pod did clock well over 3 hours. I think
Right.
no, the best is the albums of the decade pod, which I believe was a 4-hour podcast. It might be the
Yeah.
longest recorded podcast in podcast history.
I mean,
but
it's only because I bring alcohol. And this time I brought more alcohol than I ever have.
yeah,
Yeah.
So it's going
So
to be.
you could say we learned our lesson.
Rowdy.
yeah. Don't you worry, fellas.
But we knew that, at the end of 2022, we are going to have you on for the best of the year. And I think the thinking is, okay, in order to maybe cushion off some of that runtime, we can acknowledge the best of the year so far.
Oh, yeah.
And in the spirit of, like you said, learning our lesson, we were like, well, maybe let's pack in a little bit more, not just music.
Yeah, for sure.
Let's just do a big wrap up because we've been busy. We've been ill.
Mm-hmm.
You doing okay, dude? You feeling better?
Yeah. I'm all right.
Well,
you want to sniff my mic?
We really wanted some COVID to mix things up.
Yeah, we've been unable to cover the large plethora of things that have been coming out. It's been high volume in a short amount of time, and it's just impossible to cover everything, especially when we're entering the danger zone. And
Highway to the danger
Podcast zone.
so this is a chance to kind of put a bow on the first half of the year so we can enter the second half having acknowledged as many of the things that we've been kind of putting to the sidelines as the weeks go by. And we just, life happens.
Oh, yeah.
Life happens. So what we're going to do today is we're going to do our 22 favorite things of 2022 so far, the mid-year draft. We're going to draft 5 things each, and then we're going to come up with 2 consensus picks.
Right. So let's come up with the 2 consensus picks first so that we don't.
Stepping on each toes.
Yeah, exactly. Because we were going to reach the end. I'm going to be like, guys, we
Yeah.
all have to agree on Coheed being one of the 22 best
Right.
things of the year so far.
Well,
Vaxis too?
yeah.
Vaxis
Can
too.
each song on that album be
I
like
was saying
another
that
thing
my
we-
5 is going to be VAXIS, baby.
Yo.
So I think that the proposal that's out there right now, if I may.
There have been trade rumors
Yeah,
coming from
if I can just come out here,
Sharanya.
if I can drop a Twitter bomb on
Ryan
you.
Reynolds, the proposal?
Yo.
Sandra Bullock?
I'm gonna say Ryan Reynolds' real friend just revisited that one. You know, it's the one where he like puts on a fat suit in order to get close to a woman.
So the first consensus pick is the Atom Project. The
yes,
Atom-
okay, cool.
The That was this year.
It's friend of the pod, the
Red
Adams
Notice
Project.
2 coming soon.
Yeah. Okay, so I think the two nominees that are out there are Kendrick Lamar, Mr. Morale.
Yeah.
I
And
think that
the
all of
big
us
steppers.
would draft that if that was available as one of our top 5 things.
We would all fight over it.
So let's talk about it real quick up top. I think people have, for the most part, struggled to come around some type of consensus about how to feel about this album. I think that for the most part, it's been just swept away in the sea of content, at least in my view.
For sure. I think it's just there's a certain type of person that will appreciate that album. I think a lot of Kendrick albums used to be catchy enough for people that don't appreciate like the wordplay and the good poetry and like the content he actually gives, that won't actually appreciate this new album because it's pretty one-sided when it comes to that, because it's very poetic, it's very tough to listen to.
It's raw.
It's
raw as hell. He's kind of going mask off as to like, this is who I really am.
Yeah.
I'm not your savior.
He's playing soccer in Ghana.
Right.
Chilling.
Yeah, and people aren't about it because like a lot of the lyrical content has been very controversial. He's been accused of like, dead naming and being like transphobic. And it's just kind of riling a lot of people up. And there's one song in particular that's just like a straight up fight in between two people. They're just screaming at each
I kind of
other.
like that song.
We
though.
Cry Together.
Yeah.
Right. So it's just like there's a lot of kind of negative connotations around the album that are clouding it. But I think on a very basic level, I think it's very different than all his other albums. It's kind of stepping into a little bit of different vibes, different sounds. And then, the thematics, the lyrics of it, he is again showing this more raw personal side that people, I don't know if they want to hear it. I think they want a version of Kendrick that is the one they've known, the one that they built a narrative around.
This album is not for kids. It's for us. It's past 10 p.m.
You can
say whatever the hell we want, including F slurs. If you're Kendrick Lamar.
Kendrick Lamar in the back of the crowd saying the F slur.
I will say
Cum shot.
This one complaint that I've heard about this album is that it doesn't pass the aux test, meaning that like you aren't just gonna like grab the aux and like throw on fucking Savior.
I'm imagining like the
Diaries.
whitest person to ever live tweeting that, like, yo, high key though, the freaking new Kendrick doesn't pass the aux test, bro.
I think that's a bad take, and I think that's like a first listen through kind of take, which
new Kendrick doesn't doink in the whip, bro.
I will say this Kendrick album kind of reminds me a lot of we're going to talk more about it later on because it's going to get drafted by somebody, but the new season of Atlanta, where it's like people don't like it because they were expecting one thing and you like forgot what it was that you liked in the first place. Damn, like kind of threw off the scent of like, oh cool, like he's doing all these like pop songs, and Damn has some good songs to it, but I think Mr. Morale is like better in pretty much every single way than Damn. Mm-hmm. It's much more cohesive. It is.
It's not going for that broad appeal that Damn kind of
but
reached.
there's bangers on it. Like I'm thinking specifically of like Count Me Out, Die Hard, N95. That
N95 that was played on the NBA Finals a lot.
Yeah.
That one bops.
Well, it's just because it's Kendrick. That's the reason it was.
It goes crazy in a way that isn't as, like you said, it's not as commercial as Damn, because N95, the beat to me is like a really, really classy version of like a Jeezy song. Like it sounds like a 2006 Young Jeezy song.
Yeah.
The synths and everything, the piano with a little reverb on it. When Damn came out, I was the lowest out of any of us on it, and I still kind of stand by that. I don't love that album. I think a lot of the beats on Damn were immediately aged and not in like a throwback way intentionally. Whereas on Mr. Morale, when a beat sounds old, it's on purpose.
Yeah.
N95 sounds like a Jeezy beat on purpose. Like it's not like they think they're doing like a brand new thing.
Right.
Whereas like Love, for example, that sounded immediately like 5 years old to me when it dropped. Like I just wasn't a fan of the way that beat
not one
was.
of the high points on that album.
Yeah.
I think that
I want to
album,
be with you. I want to be with.
that album has some, in my opinion, some like of Kendrick's best stuff ever. That is not one of the
It was
examples
really.
of that.
You're talking about like featuring Bono on a Kendrick song.
Sure.
Like, that's what you're referencing.
Yo, where's
right?
Bono on the new
I
one,
know.
bro?
It is like everything on this album is intentional, but not like overthought, if that makes sense. Like the addition of somebody like Kodak Black or Ghostface Killah on this album.
Again, another negative,
controversial
yeah.
thing. Like that's intentional, but also like this isn't over. Kendrick did not think about all of the like 18 different media cycles that he was going to be thrown into whenever putting
Right.
out this album either. Like Kendrick is the type of person I can't remember who said this, so I'm sorry I'm not giving credit to them. But like Kendrick is one of those people who's just like, I don't go online, I don't read the internet, and like you believe it. And meanwhile, somebody like Donald Glover is like, I actually like I don't go online. Like I'm beyond the internet. And like meanwhile, Atlanta is the most online show of any show
it's
ever
like, brother, you go on the you just don't be posting.
Kendrick, actually, you're just like, yeah, you probably don't own a computer, do you? You probably are like rocking with like an LG chocolate and just like living your best life.
He owns so hard though. There are a lot of classic Kendrick things on this album for like how different everyone is saying it is. He's the king of like weird noises and a funny voice. Like
The way,
pushing them all off me like
that's something that we talked about off mic.
No one else would do something. That's
Yeah.
such a weird sound, bro.
His like it's really underrated. His not exactly singing, but the different tones that he's able to
Yeah.
kind of make
And
in
he's
his
been
songs.
doing that
Yeah.
probably since Section 80.
Yeah, since
but
Section 80.
He
has that
keeps
stuff.
finding new ways to use his voice, whether he's singing or rapping or just doing these ad libs. And honestly, like my biggest takeaway from this album, which I love, is that, to compare it again to Atlanta, it's a swerve.
Mm-hmm.
It is like this thing that you have to kind of recontextualize how you feel about the creator entirely and not bring all this baggage of expectations into how you perceive the work. And this is one of those albums that we're going to look back on Kendrick's discography years and decades from now and look at this album entirely different, in a completely different light than the way we can see it now within, less than a year of it coming out. And that's one of the most interesting things about what an artist with the cultural impact of Kendrick can do. You look back at some of the great artists of all time, and you always find little places in their discography where it's just like, what happened there? And it becomes a moment of just like having a discussion. And there's going to be some people that are going to be like, they stumbled there. They didn't really know what they were doing. And there's going to be other people that are going to be like, no, this is unique. This is interesting. This is worth looking at in a different light.
Yeah, it's more understated in almost every way than anything else he's put out. There's a lot more subtlety going on because a lot of people, like, even if they didn't appreciate the nuances of how good he was lyrically, they were fans of him for songs on mostly like Good Kid that where the lyrics are just like nonstop, like fucking machine gun.
Yeah.
Like he has a large sect of his fans are like Eminem type fans where they,
The speed.
yeah, they like that he's like a lyrical spiritual miracle, like that type of rapper, because he has done that before. He said before he was like insanely influenced by Eminem, especially starting out. And there's a lot less of that, almost more than anything else that he has done in the past. There's a lot less of that on this. There's a lot less machine gun delivery. And then when it comes, it goes so crazy because in N95, the second verse is, I think, one of the best verses he's ever had.
Yeah, straight up.
And it sounds like it could be 2013 Kendrick rapping it. It's not a good verse in a new way, which there's plenty of on this album. And then they're just straightforwardly, I think, really like perfect, like I wouldn't call them mainstream, but I would call them accessible songs. Count Me Out, I would call very accessible.
Oh, yeah.
Father Time. Although even that's a song that kind of dives into more darker.
Yeah, but then like
Die Hard though is just like, I hope I'm not too late. Said my I'm surprised that song isn't blown up more because that's like very much could just play on like a play like a Spotify playlist.
yeah, same with Count Me Out. Silent Hill is doing like decent, but like even like Kodak probably has 10 songs that have more plays than
Any,
that
You know,
this year
one
too.
thing-
Wait, Danny. Any highlights that you want to shout out from the album?
I think that like if you're trying to listen to this album, it's not something you can kind of just like play in the background. It's something you really need to dissect and like listen to on your own and take and like have the lyrics in front of you and listen to it. One thing for me is that there was a lot more Kodak Black than I really thought there was ever going to be on a Kendrick album. Like
Just
I don't know,
all over the place.
I don't know
on
about
this
you
album.
guys, but like he's from, I think he's from Miami too, right? Yeah, and that guy's crazy, man. Like, have you seen his interview with Caleb Presley from Barstool Sports?
Yeah, of course.
My name Kodak Black, but when you see me, I'm white. Like it's a crazy interview.
He's also like a bad guy.
Yeah,
Right, that's-
he got pardoned by Trump, didn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I will
Nah.
still say I'd say he's one of the most improved rappers I've ever heard in terms of hearing him 5 years ago versus now, because he always had a natural thing about him, and now he can deliver a good verse,
Yeah.
in my opinion. The same is true of 21 Savage. Like when he started
yeah.
out, I was like, what is going on? And he's genuinely like figured something out, and I like seeing that in guys.
He has figured something out for sure. Both of them have really. Like but yeah, I mean, when it comes to the album, it's not it's a really hard sell for some people. I think you can only sell it to a certain type of person.
Well, I
That-
think I don't mean to like interject, but I think that the first half of the album is very accessible for the most part. Pretty much up to Count Me Out, with the exception of We Cry Together. Like, I think that all those songs are fairly accessible. What's interesting is this album is almost organized like an old school rock album, where it's like in the front half of the album, side A, we're gonna have all the singles, we're gonna have the shit that's like poppy and playing, and then the back half we're gonna have the ballads. The back half is where we're gonna have Auntie Diaries, we're gonna have Mother I Sober, like
Yeah.
kind of
Well,
shit
yeah,
like that.
it's-
That's a lot more deeper and is stuff like you're saying to like have the lyrics pulled up in front of you and be like, Jesus Christ, this is deep.
Well,
Like,
Yeah.
it's Kendrick going to therapy. It's him hitting a breakthrough. Like
Yeah.
that's what it is. And in that back half, he hits that breakthrough.
He went through some shit. You can
Yeah.
tell. He went through some shit.
dude, Mother I Sober is like one of the most like beautiful songs about generational trauma that like I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah.
Like
It's
it actually
impactful as
like
hell.
just it made me like choke up the first time I was listening to it. I like paused it, like pulled up the lyrics, and I was like, oh my God, like he's like letting his fucking soul out on the table.
Well,
for
the
all of us.
last couple songs, do you have the track list pulled up? Because he goes on this run at the end of the album.
Yeah, from Savior.
all the way to all the way to Mirror.
Mhm.
Yeah. Even like Auntie Diaries, which is like the most controversial song.
Oh yeah.
That it you know, it has that heft to it, and it just kind of leaves you out of breath, you know, but still
Yeah.
feeling like, you know, you got your Kendrick fix, even though again, it didn't come in the way everybody expected.
Yeah,
Right.
well, another weird thing that happened with this album is the best song that he's put out this year is The Heart Part 5, and that wasn't on the album for a while.
Song
Originally,
was so
yeah.
Now it is-
that song and the opening track
Yeah.
are both just incredible.
And so now the Heart Part 5 does show up as like, it's not even, it's numbered as one, but it's at the very end of the album. It's like it's a secret, essentially like a secret third side, like a bonus track. That's a mistake to me. That like I don't like it when artists do that, because it's good that it's at least showing up on the fucking album now, because for a while it wasn't, and
Yeah.
it's like, brother, like that song it's some of the best Kendrick ever, and it's not close. I think that's a top 5 Kendrick song, and
with
if it's
the
not on the album,
video,
I'm just
too.
not gonna
With the
remember
video,
to.
it's
Great
huge.
fucking video.
I'm not
because-
gonna remember to put it on though. You
Yeah,
know,
but
Yeah.
the lyrics go along with the person he's deep faking, and
Yeah.
it's so. That's when I was like, "Oh shit, he's rapping as Will Smith right now."
Yeah, hurt people. Yeah.
Oh man,
That's a
that,
great moment.
That gave me goosebumps. Like
Yeah.
the first time I watched it, I was like, "Oh man."
Man.
Yeah. I also like, I get why he wouldn't put it initially on the album, because it does set the stage for a different album, but then also
Right.
then don't drop it as an opening single, because we're all going to assume it's like what the
It's
whole
a
album's
That's
going to
what the
sound like.
setup is.
funky-
Yeah.
Yeah, the album doesn't sound like that, and I love the way the album sounds, but it
It's
just like,
different.
yeah, it really, you know, he obviously was trying to defy us with this album. He's very pointedly like, I know that he may not pay attention to like the internet or know what anyone, but he is trying to provoke a lot in this album. He's,
yeah.
I think, but that's also not a new thing with Kendrick either. It's
Yeah.
like if you look back, like there's a reason why, like at the point in time on To Pimp a Butterfly, we get a song like Hood Politics. Like there's a reason that song is placed where it is in the like story of the album. I mean, even going back to to Section 80, like there's all kinds of songs about like prostitution and like just all kinds of things that are very, very intense, especially for a hip hop community that is normally very closed off and is very homophobic and transphobic. I think there's a reason why, like, it's very pointed why he does do what he does in Auntie Diaries. And I'm definitely, as a straight white man, gonna be the person to say like that this is good or bad. I know. Thank
Come on,
you.
guys.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you. Also, I stand with the women who are marching against Roe versus Wade right now. So keep clapping. Keep clapping.
Incredible.
I know I'm very special for that opinion. No, but like just something like that is. It's provocative in a way that I do think is good to strike up a conversation. Maybe you don't like the way that it was particularly handled, but that's still one of the most transgressive songs in the hip hop space that we have.
Also, what I was saying earlier, that like, again, he's saying he's not your savior. Like, don't put him on a pedestal.
Yeah, I don't
think that he has all the answers and that he's always going to have the right opinion about everything.
Yeah, exactly.
Is he? Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, you.
No, I was gonna say it's completely unrelated because it was a question he was gonna ask, and then you were.
What were you gonna say?
I was gonna ask if you would still put him as number one rapper right now.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, I think pretty easily.
Yeah.
I mean, who knows when his next album is even going to be at this point? Because this is his last album on TDE.
He'll come back.
He's like, I think even if you try to look at it objectively by any measure, I think he's one of the most dynamic rappers ever.
Right.
I think maybe the most dynamic.
In terms of cultural footprint,
yeah,
I think no one really comes close.
And at least in the 21st century.
Yeah.
Because if we're going back to like the 90s and shit like that, then like the stranglehold that like Pac and Biggie had on the culture is something that just doesn't exist in music anymore because everything has become so stratified and everybody's listening to such different types of music. I think that it's kind of funny that a Kendrick Lamar album came out and nobody is caring about it anymore.
Yeah.
Because the cycle just moves so fast.
Exactly.
And Kendrick is kind of the last, well, aside from like somebody who's more popular, like Drake, like Kendrick is the last like big hip hop star, like who's prioritizes hip hop over making pop music that we're going to have.
All right. So that's Kendrick Lamar, Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers. That's our number one consensus pick. Number two, we decided Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Mm-hmm. This was Danny was writing so hard for this one. He wanted us to count it so bad.
I was
right?
begging on my knees.
Danny has not seen this movie.
Yeah,
We bullied him into.
To be fair, I really do want to see it. I just haven't had the time.
Mm-hmm.
And you'll see what I have been consuming when I give my other five.
Fair enough.
My 5 picks.
So, yeah, Danny, you haven't seen this movie. We highly recommend it. We did a whole episode on it, which is actually our most popular YouTube upload. So if you haven't checked it out, please check it out. Movie rocks. Here's the thing about this episode today. And this goes for this movie and for Kendrick. There's 2 different ways to approach everything we talk about in this episode. You can either think of it as like shouting out things now that you might have to knock out at the final list at the end of the year, but you can feel a little bit better about knocking them out because we're shouting them out today.
I'm looking at this as I want to be better than you guys.
Or
I want to win.
Yeah.
Jeopardy's
Where
next episode.
you're looking,
Chill out.
you look at everything for a Twitter poll at the end of the day.
I came in here like torqued up. Like I took a bunch of fucking pre-workout and like
I
injected anabolics.
You
for
did
this shit.
like a lot of. I saw you crushing up caffeine pills.
Yeah,
and
I did
snorting
some
them in
Joe
your
Rogan
car.
shit called like monkey brain or whatever the fuck, and I'm
yeah,
just
it's
like,
called monkey brain.
I'm gonna rip your throat out, Hunter.
Or
I hope so.
You can look at it as like you're calling your shot, and like this needs to be on the best of the year so far because it's so good that it's definitely gonna be on the final list too,
Right.
and it therefore has to be. So it's like you could flip the coin either way
Yeah.
on these, and I think that for this movie, like this is probably the movie of the year. It's just a one of a kind, instant classic.
It's unique. It's almost universally not just liked, loved, which is rare. It's a straight banger. It's almost like I was saying about Kendrick. It's so weirdly dynamic. Like the filmmaking of it flexes so many different muscles from these two Daniel boys.
Yeah.
It's made by two guys named Daniel. You're gonna love it.
You're gonna fucking love it.
Their
dude.
name
You're
is
welcome.
Daniels. That's just their director.
Yeah, I'm excited to see it, but I just haven't had the time.
Check it out.
Where can we watch it?
It's
still in theaters.
It's still in theaters, but
Really?
it is
Still
available.
in theaters, fucking killing it.
It has the premium video rental, $20. But I'm sure it'll end up on streaming somewhere. I'm sure it'll
Yeah.
get.
I'll probably end up on Canopy eventually because that's where all A24 movies go.
Well, I can see it on Showtime because now they have
that's
a
right.
Showtime.
They have a Showtime
deal.
deal.
I have Showtime, so
But
there you go.
it's worth the trip to the theater, 100%.
Yeah, I will say I cannot wait for this movie to come out at home. I just have been like, Guy is getting mad at me because I won't shut the fuck up about this movie. I'm like, this is a transcendental piece of filmmaking. So yeah, check it out. If you have not seen it yet, check it out. Masterpiece.
So how are we doing? Oh, I can see he's Googling the random number generator.
Oh, okay, let's go.
No,
baby.
the wheel of names. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do to pick draft order.
We're going snake style.
We're gonna put 4 names on a wheel, and we're gonna spin it. Here's how we should do it. Right? We should, so we can stay in like we don't jump around a
whoever
bunch.
gets first, we start with them and then we go around.
Yes.
Right?
And we go what counterclockwise?
What
or-
are we doing,
Yeah.
Snaky? If we're doing
Yeah,
snake,
let's
then
do
we're
snake.
Then it doesn't matter. Yeah.
Let's do snake.
Okay.
Let's snake it out.
All right. So we're spinning the
But
wheel.
We'll start.
Here we go.
Who's going first?
Here we go.
It's looking like Ernie. Wow, sus.
I don't know if I
Damn.
like first pick with snake draft.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you're actually.
So
low-key
we're gonna
fucked.
go Ernest, Drew, me,
Danny. And then Danny, you get 2 picks, and then we snake
Yeah,
back
you guys
around.
aren't going to pick
Honestly-
any of the stuff I pick. So
I know it's
I
gonna be
like-
like some fucking like Bombay bicycle.
Jamiroquai.
shit.
Did Jamiroquai release an
Yeah,
album?
did
I hope you guys studied up on
Pretty Lights
Jamiroquai.
do like a collab with Jungle or something like that?
Oh,
Okay. So I get first pick. I have a number 1 first pick right off the top. Like, this is the one movie that has come out this year that it is in the biggest ballpark of taking Everything Everywhere All at Once spot as the number 1 movie of the year. It's RRR.
I'm so mad at myself that I still haven't seen this. Like, I have no excuse.
Well, maybe tonight is the night, and after we do our marathon recording session,
We're
we will
gonna
have a
watch
part
3
RRT.
hours of RRR.
Maybe not 3 hours. It has a handy dandy intermission in the
Love
middle,
that.
so you can really just split it up into 2 90-minute movies. This is an Indian Tollywood sensation, absolute international sensation. This movie is like sweeping so many different types of film lovers.
it is. It's the
off
most
their
universally
feet.
beloved movie since 2 months ago when Everything Everywhere came out.
Exactly. But I mean, the Indian cinema, Bollywood and now Tollywood have had this reputation of being these big maximalist over the top movies that are just like beyond ridiculous. And this one is definitely that, but it has this beating heart to it. These 2 friends, it's this bromance, and all of the crazy action, all of the violence and the insanity all has a point to it and a purpose, and it's not just for superfluous sake. It has this like actual story that it's trying to tell, and it's one of those movies that you sit and watch and you can't believe the next thing that happens every scene. Like, you cannot possibly predict what's going to happen each subsequent scene. And
guessing.
it has incredible visuals. It has incredible comedy. It becomes like a romantic comedy for a bit there. It has everything: drama, romance, action. It has it all. Dancing. It's crazy, guys. Everything you could possibly want from a movie, all rolled into one, all with 2 fantastic performances at the center. Some of the best scenes I've seen maybe ever, like maybe in all action movie history, like just absolutely mind-blowing stuff. But I will say it can be a little bit jarring to be thrown the things that this movie's throwing at you, especially as it gets into the end. It kind of starts to go maybe a little bit off the rails, you could say. It's just like big Maximus movie making, and it's just throwing a lot at you. But I think at the end of the day, you're left with something that is completely unique. It's unlike anything else. It's doing things you've never seen before. And what else could you possibly want from a movie than something that is fully original, untapped, creative juice? Like, holy shit, I love this movie.
Where can the people get it?
Well, it's on Netflix, so
okay. That's
pretty easy to find. It is dubbed in Hindi, which a lot of people have been kind of like...
Yeah, I've heard the dub is not great.
No, I honestly don't mind it. You know, there's some bits where you can tell that it's a dub, but the two main actors redub their own lines in Hindi.
It's dubbed in Hindi?
Yeah. So that's RRR. You can watch it on Netflix. It is dubbed. If you can find it in theaters, go see it in theaters, but it's just on Netflix. Like,
convenient.
Do you feel like you lost anything by seeing it at home versus seeing it in theater?
This is the other thing I was going to say. Like, watch it with people. Like, this is why I want to watch it with you guys, because if you just get the slightest simulation of the communal movie going experience going for this thing, that's how you maximize the experience of this movie. You know, we can watch together. I know it's 3 hours, but I'm telling you, par RRT. Get all your friends together.
Par RRT.
Put this movie on. You won't fucking regret it. It's fucking amazing. All right, so now we go to you, Drew.
So, off cam, me and Hunter were just having a discussion that he really doesn't want me to do something that'll make him upset. Nothing new, guys. Just an abusive relationship that we have.
Yeah, I just don't want you to make me upset.
There's things that I could take that I like more, but this is about 2022, Hunter, and I am going to take Top Gun.
That's fine. That's fine. You can take that.
Top Gun Maverick was so...
Well, I'm happy for you because you are notably the biggest Tom Cruise fan. You always say that he's a great actor.
I was like, oh, let's do a series about him.
Yeah, you like really
so
champion.
mean.
I was like, Tom Cruise is like, he's not even a good actor. He's just like an action movie star who makes films about Oblivion.
So the reason that this is on my list is because it was a lot better than I could have ever expected. I think that's generally the sentiment, even from people who were expecting it to be pretty good. This is a really good movie. I also, when we had our episode about it, I was a little too dismissive of Joseph Kosinski as like a mind behind it. And I really think after listening to interviews with him, he genuinely brought a lot of original filmmaking to it. He's a good filmmaker. This movie is almost more than anything else, it's really well directed, man. It looks good as shit. And that's kind of the most important thing about a Top Gun movie. Like, the Tony Scott Top Gun looks good as shit for an 80s movie, and then this is what a 2020s Top Gun movie should look like. It's such a natural progression that you're able to excuse all the silly little, script hiccups, or like character moments that don't quite work as well. That said, also a lot of them do. A lot of this movie just works on like a base, like monkey brain level. You're watching it and you're like, you can't help but get swept up in the cinema of it all. You can't help but want to enlist in the military.
Hell yeah, man.
I don't want to
start active duty tomorrow.
I know.
Yeah.
I don't want to say this is the main reason that I just joined ROTC at my local community college, but
they actually did have like recruitment tables at the original.
Yeah,
movie.
the original Top Gun. Mhm.
Yeah. So this one is you're just one step. They probably have like a QR code on the poster.
yeah. Absolutely. Tom Mozart. I've been running for Glenn Powell for a minute. He really badly wanted to be
the Goose's son.
Yeah,
character.
the Goose's son part. Unfortunately, he is attractive. He doesn't look like Goose,
Right.
so they had to go with our premier A- list. Ugly Guy, Miles Teller. Big props to him. He nails it. It's a great movie.
You buy the surrogate son relationship for sure.
You do, and also more crucially, this movie is just absolutely fucking cleaning shit up, and it still is. It's been like months at this point, and it's still just like mopping the floor with your little fucking Lightyear or whatever you're trying to put out. Ooh. You doofuses,
dude. It is in its 5th weekend right now as of recording this, and it might be the highest grossing movie in the box office this year.
Yeah, and deservedly so, because you go to the movies and you turn your brain off and you have a really great time,
and you want to see Jet go
and it's
fast.
Great. Yeah, truly like. One of the best theatrical experiences I've had in so long was seeing this
exactly.
movie.
It's dumb as hell and it rules, and that's
Top Gun Maverick.
Top Gun Maverick.
All right, Hunter.
Speaking of the best theatrical experiences I've had in a minute, this was like the first theatrical experience I had had since pre-COVID times. That was like, thank God I'm at a theater watching this with other people, and that's Jackass Forever.
Oh hell yeah!
One of the best movies of the year.
I didn't think you would take it so soon. I have it on my short list.
Here's the thing. I think that
was so good.
It's the best Jackass movie.
Wow.
I think that it's between that and Jackass 2. It's at least number 2 overall, though. I think that this movie is like kind of perfect. The additions, in addition to like seeing like, you know, the classic faces, the Johnny Knoxville, the Chris Pontiuses of the world. The new guys who they got in are just like, they're fucking great. Poopies rules. Zach is great.
Jasper Dolphin, man.
Dude, Jasper, yeah.
He showed a lot of future.
You saw this movie, Danny?
I saw 4.5.
Okay, yeah, on Netflix. Yeah, no, this just truly, I was so happy to see this in a theater. We saw like a sneak preview showing of it. It has probably like a top 3 all-time Jackass sketch in it, Silence of the Lambs, where everybody, they sit in a room and they pitch black everything, and they like lead them to believe that there's like snakes and like everything else in the world.
Yeah.
They're just walking or like crawling around next to them as they're in this room, and just watch them like lose their mind. Psychological terror. It just fucking owns. Like, it's so great seeing this in theater. It's the most dicks per capita of any Jackass movie.
A lot of dicks.
I really love
Blurred
to see
out?
it. No.
Of
course not.
no.
Dude,
No,
it's Jackass. No, they are
full
hanging.
teen.
It starts off in the very beginning, how Jackass starts, because you know they always have like a really like epic, over the top opening sequence of just Pontius's
Dick is like tearing
as-
apart a city.
Pontius's dick as Godzilla, just
extreme
spraying cum as fire on the
Ew.
city.
They
Correct.
blew the budget on the opening scene.
It's so good.
They talk about it in
Literally.
4.5.
We live in a world where Jackass Forever made $80 million on a $10 million budget, and
Yes,
we
sir.
fucking love to see it.
And it is now on Paramount Plus.
Yeah, Paramount Plus.
The-
4.5 is on Netflix, I think.
The dick ping pong. The shit
good.
absolutely killed me. I mean, one thing I wanted to say about the whole thing was that it was nice that COVID really didn't ruin the movie, because the COVID started, I think, a week or 2 after shooting.
Yeah.
Well,
and it didn't really take a whole lot from it.
it does, because you can see it. There's like certain scenes where they're like walking around on the sets and they have like masks and shit like that. But I think personally, my favorite Jackass bits are when it's just the guys fucking with each other versus them like going out in public and kind of doing the whole crowd interaction thing. There's some funny bits that come out of that, but like my favorite Jackass, personally, what I want from Jackass is watching these people like inflict hell on each other.
And interact. Yeah.
That's what I want, and that's
Deep
what the show.
harm.
That's
It's
why the show
beautiful.
just
It's
or this
beautiful.
movie is beautiful.
I definitely recommend
Love it.
watching 4.5 too. I would watch it after watching Forever. It was just, I was under the impression that it was like both, and then I was wrong, and then I just kept watching, and
Gotcha.
I still loved it. Like even watching 4.5 on its own was, and that's on Netflix,
Yeah.
and it was really enjoyable, honestly.
Awesome. Jackass, baby.
What you got, Danny?
I mean, obviously, I'm gonna start with music.
Which Jamiroquai album?
Yeah, there's
Jamiroquai
several.
has not put out anything this year, unfortunately.
Yet.
But
Not
hopefully, fingers crossed. I'm gonna go ahead and shout out the boy Tom York, The Smile.
Nice. It's on my list.
Shit.
I love that album. I love it. I love it. I love it. I can't get on. It's Johnny Greenwood and Tom York of Radiohead, and is it Tom Skinner from the band? He's a drummer from Sons of Kemet. Yeah,
I believe that's right.
And
yeah.
it is not what I was expecting. I've listened to Tomorrow's Modern Boxes, and I've Anima. You get the Tom York experience, but it's not the full blown thing.
Mhm.
The Smile feels like Tom York went back in time like 15, 20 years.
Yeah.
And he's doing his own thing again. And it's experimental. It's beautiful. It's
called A Light for Attracting Attention.
yeah. And I love the album because, I mean, has Lee listened to it?
I keep meaning to like force her to essentially.
She needs to because she would love it.
I know. And they're
100%.
coming to Atlanta or Miami. Yeah.
If they were coming to Florida, I'd be going. I think Atlanta's a bit of a stretch for me these days.
Okay.
Because I'm going to so much shit already. But
I need to convince her because like this is just more Radiohead.
Yeah,
Essentially.
it's more Radiohead.
There are
great.
songs where I didn't know that he still had this in him. Like giving that full on kind of manic vocal performance.
Mhm.
Because the last Radiohead album, Moonshaped Pool, he doesn't do that. Those songs are very subdued, very ambient. And there's a couple tracks in here that it's just like, man, this is old school Tom York. I didn't know he could still do
like
this.
the man's back, kind of thing. And it just because that's when he started doing the, OK Computers, the In Rainbows and stuff like that. But this is just Tom York fucking rocking out.
Yeah.
And
not front to back. There's
yeah.
a lot. This thing covers a lot of different sounds.
Yeah, for sure. I just really liked it. I did not think I was gonna like it as much because like I've listened to his side project stuff like before, and it's never like blown me away. Kind of like because I've found a recent obsession with Radiohead like in the last couple years. Like I've always known they were good,
Yeah.
and like I've liked a couple songs, but then like I've started finally diving deeper into
Same.
their discography and being like, wow. This guy's incredible. This guy is probably the best rock artist of like the past couple
Yeah,
decades.
he's a weird motherfucker.
Yeah, he's
He's
weird. And I mean,
weird, ugly, little Weasley looking man.
the
We love
Smart
him.
List podcast when
Yeah. Him and
well,
Johnny Greenwood.
Jason Bateman was just fangirling
Wait,
over it.
there's other podcasts?
No, never heard it before.
No.
Okay, cool.
Redacted.
The radio show, they went like on live
They
radio
were on
and talked.
bleep.
But yeah, I really enjoyed the album. If you even remotely like Radiohead, I think you should listen to it. Even if you just like rock, it's pushing the needle. It's just a great album.
Also, Johnny Greenwood, he's been just doing a lot of film scores the last few years.
Yeah.
So it's good to see him just like still in that bag of just straight down the middle regular music because he's just been in this mode of just like pushing the boundaries of what a film score can be.
Yeah.
And I thought that that's what he was interested in. So to see him kind of come back to the middle and be like, hey, I can still just do the regular rock band thing.
Yeah.
It's fucking great.
I loved it. And
Rules.
like they released like shitty videos of them playing the songs for the first time, like live. And it's like, you have no idea how to use a computer, Tom. Stop this. Like but like listening to the final product at the end it's a great album. I'm obsessed with it. It's amazing.
Yeah, it's a great one. It's The Smile, a light for attracting attention. You got another pick as we
I
sync.
do. And I think maybe one of you might try to claim this, but I'm going to go ahead and do it. It's
Don't you
also
do it.
music.
Don't you do it.
King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard.
I was
Dude,
gonna let you guys fight over that
Oh
one.
my
I knew that
God.
wasn't gonna
You
get
literally
it, but
just took like my
banger.
top 2 album picks right now.
bangers.
I mean, this out. Okay, so
Omnium Gatherum.
Omnium Gatherum. It wasn't until the last Listomania we did that I was like, fuck, do I really like King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard? Like, I had no idea because I'm like, oh, this is a good album. And I'm like, okay, it's been on my top 10 like twice now, And this album covers almost like a bunch of different genres.
Yeah.
They stopped doing the whole project thing where it's like one simple genre. Like the opening track is phenomenal.
The Dripping Tap.
The Dripping Tap. It's a 17-minute fucking banger. And
It's insane.
It's-
It's a journey. You
It
just
really
like you
is.
go places in your mind that you like didn't know were there when you're just
Yeah.
just zoning out listening to this thing.
It's so,
Dude, fucking trippy visuals in
it's
the
so
audio.
good. And then like after seeing them in Miami this past weekend, it
Cool
was
brag.
huh?
Sick
Yeah, that's
brag.
really
Oh, I'm
bro.
sorry.
Ooh, I know where Miami is. Fuck you.
I'm from there. I'm
Fuck
allowed
you,
to.
buddy.
Fins up, baby, every day of my life. But yeah, King Gizzard, they throw on a freaking serious show. If they come anywhere in Florida, we have to go. We don't have a choice. I'll buy your tickets if I have to.
I have bad news. You could have just
Oh.
bought our tickets like last week, and then you just didn't.
Would you look at the time?
Oh my god, it's
Oh,
crazy.
God.
That was 22, right?
If he has to, he will. Though.
Yeah.
Guess what,
but-
bitch? Now you have to. You gave too much away.
Live, we bought a mic.
We are
at King
recording
Gizzard.
it. I'm not cutting this out.
Um,
Just
it's-
immortalized.
It's on the record. But yeah, after seeing them live, like completely different, even better live. But this album is incredible. And the best part about this album is that we get 3 more King Gizzard albums this year.
Fuck.
Like
That's too much.
like they just
3 more
randomly
albums.
tweet like
Can't
for
deal
me
with
it was
that.
like a top 5 album and then like yeah 3 more albums. I'm like what is going on? And no,
I can't wait for our best albums of the year pod when it's just like
Half of it
6 King Gizzard albums.
it
filled
honestly
with-
it probably could be because this was a masterpiece for me. I loved it. Like they named a song after your wife.
Gaia.
Mhm. Yeah, it's a good song.
Like,
That's
But-
her on the track.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
She got that feature. Dude, it's amazing the royalties that we're getting
This
now.
album, I think, is my favorite King Gizzard album, just because they did a flawless job of combining all of those different sounds, all of the different genres into a single project.
doing like metal, Beastie Boys,
Yeah.
folk, like jam.
Little hip hop thrown
Yeah,
in there.
what the hell's going on? It's awesome.
Yeah. There's a feature by oh wait, no, I'm thinking of the Jack White album.
Okay.
Q-Tip. I was about to say
Yeah.
there is a song that does sound like a little bit of
They have-
Tribe a little bit.
I don't know how they come up with this stuff though. Like how many influences do you have that you can touch these many different genres and still be great at them? I don't know. That's what blows me away because it's like it always sounds good. And like watching them live, they're jumping into many different genres too, and you never know what you're gonna get. Like I don't
This
know.
album rocks.
It rocks.
Yeah. Great.
Omnium Gatherum by King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard.
Mhm.
All right, Hunter.
King Glizzy Lizzy Wizzy.
So we're at a point where I have to think strategically here. And I know that it won't be here by the time it comes back around. And so we're just going to go ahead and stay in the music space and go with what's possibly, it's been kind of floating around number 1 for me.
is it Vax?
And it is
It's
that
Pusha T.
it's, well, I have news for you guys. I'm Cocaine's Dr. Seuss right now, and I'm taking It's Almost Dry by King Push.
Now hold on. Does Tom Brady saying this is album of the year have anything to do with your
So
pick?
it might have
Wait a
everything
minute.
to do with it.
Wait a
is that
fucking
Wait
it's
a minute.
here's just picture Tom Brady just sitting there, just being like, "I will never eat a tomato in my life," and just like
eating
jamming out
salmon,
to fucking Pusha
drinking
T.
alkaline water.
This album is like borderline perfect. Like the sound of this album is everything that I fucking want from a Pusha T album. I mean, especially when you like his previous album, the self-titled Daytona is like one of the best albums of the 2010s, one of the best rap albums of the 2010s. And then
yeah.
he just followed it up with another just fucking banger that I'd say is like almost on the same level. It's kind of in the same ballpark as Daytona. Just fucking incredible. All the songs on here, not a single skippable track. Of course, I knew that was going to be good because all the singles were great. Fucking Neck and Wrist, Diet Coke. Scrape It Off is one of my favorite songs. That song rules.
Hey, you remember who
I
was
just
on
scraped it
my
off the top.
You remember who was on my Spotify most played artist of last year, Mr. Don Tolliver.
Yeah, dude,
I'm
Don
not
Toliver
proud,
on there.
but man's talented.
The samples or the features on this album are fucking incredible. The Labyrinth feature and clips in the last song, of course, notably Rock and Roll with Cudi and Kanye, which honestly might be my favorite song on the album. It's like, I think that I love it so much because it's the last time that we'll ever hear a song together with Cudi and Kanye ever again, because Kanye, well, he's not doing so great, fellas.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I hate
What
to
the
bust the
heck?
news to you guys, but
Will
my
we get a
my
Pete Davidson
dreams,
feature?
my
on the next
dreams of a Kid See Ghost 2 are not looking great. Let's just say that.
He's not well. He's very unwell.
Yeah, no, he's not great. But yeah, no, Brambleton. This album is just fucking incredible. Like, it has been kind of oscillating in my top 3. There's some days where I just wake up, I'm like, yeah, no, this is the best album of the year. This is the best thing that I've
Hey
heard.
man, Diet Coke. That
You order
song
Diet Coke.
That's a
That's a
joke,
joke,
right?
right?
absolutely.
Yeah,
slaps.
it's silly. That the consistency of him as a rapper over time, because I've been getting very into clips this year.
Mm-hmm.
He still is just doing the same shit, man. Like he
Still
knows
rapping about cocaine.
he knows exactly what he's great at. It's so funny. It's still funny hearing him and Malice together because they're so similar.
Yeah.
It's so funny.
Them playing off of each other.
And it's also just, it's absurd. Like the reason Clips was so great is because Pharrell is on all the beats. The reason Daytona's so great is because Kanye does every beat. So he was like, well, what if
we just
crazy
let's
idea?
just throw these.
What if
guys
the
together.
two most timeless producers of hip hop ever were just the only two guys who produced this album? Like, it's probably gonna go pretty well.
The sound of this album is just like perfect. Like I listened to this album for the first time. Like, why doesn't all hip hop music sound like this? Like, why is this like the most well mixed, perfectly sounding album? It's just it's so good. It's so good.
Not enough. If I'm to critique it, there's not quite enough yuck.
Yeah.
But there is an abundance of the gonna die. That's an ad lib being 3 words is so cool to me.
Didn't someone do like an analysis of all of the different words he substitutes for cocaine in the lyrics?
I believe it. That rocks.
Booger sugar.
There's like 3 dozen. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like that Kate Bush album from a few years ago, 1,000 Words for Snow.
It's Almost Dry by Pusha T. It's Hunter's pick. All right, Drew. You're up.
Yeah, obviously.
I knew this was going to be on your list too.
Yeah,
It
obviously, I
is.
really wanted that one, but I'm gonna.
Yeah. Well, maybe you shouldn't have fucking taken Top Gun, you little bitch boy.
Oh, shit. It's
Are you guys already fighting?
I didn't.
we're in the first round. Okay, second round.
Well, you took Top Gun from me, so
I'm gonna take it again right now.
Yeah.
I took Top Gun Maverick.
The next
first one, I
Top
just
Gun.
took Top Gun.
I'm gonna take my favorite show of the year, which is Severance, which
Nice.
blew my ass out the water. I didn't watch Escape from Dannemora like you did, Ernest, which was Ben Stiller's first like prestige TV directorial debut. I think he did every episode of that. Yeah.
Yeah.
He does most episodes of Severance season 1. This show is really almost flawless. If you are missing sort of, it's annoying to call it a thinker show, but it is a show. It's a show that almost perfectly balances giving you so many questions and opening up a world with so many possibilities and confusion, and then also giving you just enough to make you very satisfied every single episode. I'm not the biggest sci-fi head. This is the exact type of sci-fi that I want to see more of out there. And I'm happy that this got produced because it is from a relative unknown. The script was just so undeniably great that it's in, and he's still involved heavily. And above all that, it ends with so much left. Like they end season 1 fully, like as a statement to say to HBO and to say to the viewers, or to Apple and to say to the viewers, you better beg for season 2 because we are not going to tell you shit right now.
Cliffhanger.
Yeah, y'all better wait. Incredible acting, incredible directing, incredible writing. Like everything is good. Everything is great.
We did a whole episode on this one
Yeah,
as well.
It's such a good fucking show.
You can listen to that one for expanded thoughts.
Big-
Severance.
Yeah, big recommend.
My pick is also going to be a TV show. And I had one in mind, but I think this one will come back around to me, so I'm going to wait on it for another round.
I'm going to take Better Call Saul without watching it.
But I'm going to go with Barry. Season 3.
I haven't watched yet.
I almost took this because this is my favorite show, my favorite season of television of the year so far.
This is a wild season because Barry started out as this comedy with elements of drama.
Yeah.
Definitely riding that similar line of Atlanta, where it's just like a 30-hour show that doesn't really pick a side between comedy and drama. But the earlier seasons were very much like, hey, isn't it funny that like this hitman's trying to be an actor? Like, that's pretty funny, right? You know, hijinks ensue when an assassin decides that he wants to leave a career of murdering and pursue acting. And now in its 3rd season, Bill Hader, who plays Barry and who writes and directs a lot of these episodes, has taken this story and descended it into hell. That's what this season is. It is a descent into hell. He drags everybody with him, and it is full on one of the darkest things I've seen on TV in a minute. Bill Hader's a genius, guys. Like, just straight up. He is one of maybe this might be hyperbole, but I think he might be like the most talented person to come out of SNL ever, because nobody can do what he does here, to act in this part and to be such a creative behind the scenes force in where this show goes, where this story goes, where all of these characters go. It is unlike anything else on TV. It might be a little bit too dark if you're expecting something light, you know, kind of like what the earlier seasons were. That's not what this is. This goes full on dark. The last episode of the season,
dude,
it is filmmaking of the highest caliber.
It's honestly like one of the best last episodes of a TV, like season finales of a TV show that I've seen, like maybe ever. I don't know. It's like perfect in every way.
Yeah.
You mentioned like his creative force of actually making it. That's what I wanted to say. The direction by Hader has like really fucking taken the notch up, especially this season. There's one sequence that got some clout on Twitter whenever after the episode aired, but it's during a chase sequence that happens mid-episode.
The motorcycle.
And the way that it's seen, that it's filmed, this scene with the motorcycle chase sequence where motorcycles are racing after each other in between cars, and you hear the wind passing as it's like
music.
So fucking well done. He's directing every episode of season 4.
Yeah,
it got announced. Dude, this is my favorite season of television of the year so far. Like, this show it's so fucking good. You are right. It definitely gets really dark. This is easily like the least funny of any season of Barry so far. But that's not to say that it's without any laughs. Like, he still has like really, really funny people involved, including just getting like a bunch of that guys of the comedy scene in LA to just go in there and just like do improvised bits with each other for 30 seconds.
Also, Cy Abelman,
which is fucking hilarious.
We always love like Avengers Endgame reaction when Cy Abelman just does a bit part.
When Cy Abelman breaks into Henry Winkler's house. You're like,
sorry,
Fred
Melman?
Williman.
Okay, yeah, that's the actual. Cy Abelman is the character's name in The Serious Man. Anyway, show absolutely fucking rocks.
Bill Hader. It sounds like hyperbole, but he deserves to be discussed in the same vein as the other great Gen X filmmakers, because he comes to it the exact same way that their brains do, the way that PTA and Tarantino do.
Yes,
they are all fans first. They all grew up with a really good access to movies, and they are obsessed with movies more than they are even filmmakers.
Yeah.
If you talk to Bill Hader, his biggest influence in his filmmaking is Kurosawa. Mm-hmm. Like, he's that type of motherfucker. Like, he is he's in deep with it. And
he gets even nerdier than that. Like, he can pull some references of shit, obscure European films that I've never even heard.
Exactly.
He's in the Ben Stiller zone, where like he always wanted to be a director, and then like he couldn't really get a start with that because it's really hard to just be a fucking director.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh, well, I'm funny, so I guess I'll just use that in order to like build myself up so I can do what I really want.
Yeah, and also he's more exceptional. Like he's one of the most exceptional stories in Hollywood because he is a genuine came from Oklahoma.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And then he just happened to be on the right improv team to get discovered by Lauren, and then he just happened to be so good at everything that at post SNL he gets
Great career moves too, that he didn't get stuck making like the Stefan movie.
Yeah, but then he's also he's so good that people like Judd Apatow or Seth Rogen just want him around on their set as a bit character, or Trey Parker and Matt Stone want him just in the writers' room one summer
For South Park,
yeah, just writing for South Park and doing voices here and there because he's a Swiss Army knife. You can use him any way you want, but the way that he wants to use himself is the best of all.
Yeah. I mean, this season's a triumph. To your point about it having some humor still in there, this season still manages to insert this pitch perfect parody of Hollywood and of this new streaming age of Hollywood and how kind of aimless it is sometimes to be beholden to the algorithm when you're trying to create art, and this horrible content side of art that we've just co-opted as normal, and it manages to do that in this really sometimes really satirical way that kind of goes out of the bounds of reality, but always in true form tied to these characters that we're following,
right?
Specifically the character of Sally and her journey. So
real
can't
quick,
recommend it enough.
I just want to get it corrected for the record so that Cy doesn't show up here to our house. His name is Fred Melamed.
Melamed.
Not Wellamed.
Okay.
Melamed.
Okay.
So.
All right. Yes.
Yeah.
Cy Abelman.
Cy Abelman.
So that's Barry season 3. I have another pick here. I'm going to go with Fear of Dawn, the Jack White album. Fear of the Dawn?
Fear of the Dawn.
Fear of the Dawn. Okay, yeah. Jack White is back.
Mm-hmm. He's back.
back.
Jack
I
is back.
wasn't a huge fan of his album from a couple years ago. What was it called?
It was another blue one.
They're all blue.
They're all blue.
They're all blue.
They're
yeah.
all Ozark albums.
Yeah, it's called
The Ozark of artists.
Yeah.
Boarding House Breach.
Yeah.
I think that
No one
Reach.
liked that.
I think that album I could really appreciate what he was going for in trying to be more experimental,
Yeah.
but this one is not doing that. This one
we
is
like
just
a Jack White that can rock.
yeah. This
Yeah.
is just rock.
It just rules.
And
just
I just needed this. I really needed just a regular rock album from Jack White, from one of the great rock geniuses of our time.
He's very, very
Speaking
talented.
of songs that were everywhere during the NBA finals, the was
Taking
it?
Me Back.
yeah, I
Yeah.
bet you do. Just at every commercial.
It's
break
also
during the
Call
NBA
of
finals.
Duty. It's like the Call of
Oh,
Duty
no.
song. Yeah.
Jack, make that money, baby.
Yeah, he's
This
raking
is
it in.
a 12-track album. You're kind of in and out on this thing.
Yeah.
You're not really lingering around kind of in the weeds, in the thick of Jack experimenting with shit. And I don't know, his career has been really crazy. He obviously did the White Stripes, but he went off and did Dead Weather and Raconteurs. And then when he started putting out solo music, I felt like he started putting out music that was the most distilled, uncut version of everything he was trying to do beforehand, while still incorporating sounds that he wasn't able to in all the other projects.
Yeah.
So I think that each subsequent album just kind of dives deeper into that, into giving you that raw core version of what he can do, and still find new ways to incorporate it into different subgenres. I tipped it off earlier that Q-Tip is on this album, and he kind of goes all in on this pseudo hip hop track, and it works in the context of this thing. And he's not trying to do some big conceptual thing. It's not this far-reaching project. Again,
Yeah.
it's just a down-the-middle rock album.
It rocks.
And it goes hard.
Yeah.
It goes fucking hard. There's some songs on here where like you can't help but just crank the volume all the way up and start banging your fucking head. It's amazing. I love it.
It's what we wanted from Jack White, and as soon as I saw the cover, I was scared because it looked just like the last album,
Blue.
and it was just very Ozarky, and
He's very inspired by
Dude,
Ozark.
he just just him and Jason Bateman just love the color blue.
yeah, it was. I was scared, and then I finally listened to it. I listened to the single "Taking Me Back," and I was like, maybe my boy's back, you know. Because that was one of my favorite Bonnaroo shows of all time, Jack White at 2014.
Oh, so
And,
good.
like,
Such a great show.
The man busted out the theremin, you know, like
Damn.
yeah, it was. It's just I finally feel like, you know, I can listen to it again, like without being in like a, what kind of weird stuff can I get into today? You know,
Right.
it was a very good album. I'm very happy with it. Like I was ready to be disappointed, and I wasn't. And
Exactly. Yeah, especially based on Boarding House, because it's just like, and that's not a bad album.
it's not a bad album,
but
for
it's
sure.
it's kind of too experimental to the point that you don't just want to like throw it on.
Right.
Like
Right.
I admire this more than I love this.
Yeah.
It's like you got a public sub and they accidentally put glue on it. You know, kind of
Ew.
thing.
What?
You know, like
Wait.
like
I was
that.
gonna
no,
say
back it
that.
up, explain
I was gonna
that.
say that.
That's
Yeah.
what it felt like. You
it's
know,
like,
and
it's
it
like
was
the pub sub glue thing that happens.
Yeah,
to us.
You know how that happens.
you know Elmer's glue just goes flying around. You know,
There's a couple songs on here, like I think
Oh, boy.
Eosophobia.
yeah.
Eosophobia.
I was like, that's definitely not correct.
You keep
Where-
trying for it.
He just feels like he's just fucking around with his guitar pedals, you know, and not trying to like really overdo it, but just like finding the specific level of delay and reverb that just sounds like perfect for what he's trying to accomplish for that specific riff, so that it carries through at exactly the level that it needs to. And that's the kind of shit I want. I don't need these you know, kind of way out there experimental sounds. Just a little bit of tweaking here and there to get to the sound that you need,
Yeah.
to make it sound unique and you know, different enough for me to be like, oh, that's that Jack White sound. That's that one thing that only he can do.
It's a distinct noise in the guitar. Like you can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It rocks. Fear of the Dawn by Jack White. That's my pick. Drew, we're back to you.
So, I'll be quick.
Why is that
Ambulance.
funny?
Oh, nice.
Hunter, go
Fuck
ahead.
Fuck yeah.
Nothing else to say.
That's it.
Ambulance. Our 300th episode.
I'd also
spectacular.
I'd like to defer my final two picks. I think I already won this.
Yeah, you got Ambulance. That's all that you really need. Dude, Ambulance fucking rolls, man.
They
Movie
gave
rocks.
Michael Bay drones, and he fucking delivered with the help of Jake Gyllenhaal and Yahya Abdul-Mateen.
Yeah, Jake
II.
Gyllenhaal
Yeah.
piloted a lot of those drones.
Like
It's a tiny Jake Gyllenhaal like in the cockpit.
Yeah, he was actually piloting
Top
it.
Gun style.
Yeah. Yeah, Jake Gyllenhaal played like the rival that was trying to put Tom Cruise out of a job in Top Gun Maverick. Good pick.
Ambulance.
It was on my list. But I'm gonna go ahead and take what might be my second favorite show of the year so far, and that's The After Party.
Nice.
I didn't have a chance to talk about this show before because I know the two of you already did. Y'all did a full episode about The After
We
Party.
did.
One of the smartest shows that I've seen on television in such a long time. Like
Yeah, man.
Lord and Miller.
That show's no joke. That
This
show is genuinely
we didn't
incredible.
need The After Party to tell us that Lord and Miller are fucking geniuses, but it sure did tell us that. For people who haven't seen it, it's a Apple TV show on. It's a murder mystery about a Justin Bieber-like figure who gets murdered at an after party of a high school graduation.
Reunion.
High school reunion. That's what I mean. The cast is fucking phenomenal. Our boy Sam Richardson, who we just love to see, Zoe Chow, Ike Barinholtz, Benny Schwartz, Alana Glazer, Dave Franco,
A great
Tiffany.
Dave Franco.
Awesome Dave Franco.
Perfectly calibrated.
Tiffany Haddish, who I'll be honest with you, I've always liked Tiffany Haddish, but she kind of leveled up in my mind for like what she can do and like what she could be in a show like this. Like between this and the Card Counter, two things that I've digested in like the last 6 months or so, really like making me think like, is Tiffany Haddish going to be like the next star who's just in our life for the next 30 years? Because she has fucking levels. Which I guess maybe I was just the one who was sleeping on Tiffany Haddish this whole time. But incredible. Once you find out the twist of the show, because there is a twist, you do find out like it is a murder mystery,
whodunit.
and there is a actual who did it that you do find out in the show. It's fucking perfect. The seeds are like laid there the entire time, and you see it there right in front of you, and you never actually connect the pieces. It's a show that really invites rewatch because of
You've
all
rewatched
these
it?
little things. I started to. I haven't actually finished my rewatch of it, but like it is a show that kind of lends itself to rewatchability, which I wouldn't say that a lot of television shows do that.
Yeah. There's also, was it you who sent me the Twitter thread of all those like really
clues.
Easter eggs.
Because there are a lot of clues that don't even like, even upon rewatch you would never ever notice any of these things, and they put them in anyway just for like the true, like just for like a post.
Yeah.
Basically, like just
It's
for
the
some
most
just
in
for
the
some
background.
freak to figure it out. Yeah. It's a lovely show.
It's incredible. It was originally
love-
supposed to be a mini series, and then it did get picked up for a season 2. So it's a different cast, right?
Yeah.
It's going to have
Different cast,
some
different setup.
carryover.
New cast. Yeah. Same.
I'm sure Tiffany Haddish will probably be
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
Because she's.
I think
plays
Sam
the police
Richardson
officer.
is coming back too.
Oh, nice.
And they've been casting
them.
people, and it's been the exact type of people you would expect to
Yeah.
show up in a different season of this. It's going to be great.
Yeah, fucking perfect show. Like I said, it's
Apple TV.
currently in like my top 3 shows of the year so far.
Same.
So,
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Nice.
same.
Love
It's an awesome show.
The after party. Hell yeah. All right, Danny. You're up.
Now, I know you guys are all thinking about claiming this, and so I'm going to go ahead and claim it first. Rocket League Esports are back.
Nice.
Yeah. So since COVID's over, they're finally meeting up together to do LANs and stuff.
I haven't heard their new album.
It's just been a nice watch. I think the game itself is like fun because it's like 5-minute games. You can just throw a couple in like, during lunch or something, like if you're working from home. For me, it's just been nice to watch because there's like such a high skill cap, and like right now, like these 15-year-olds are just dominating these people that have been doing it. I know you've been watching.
I've watched some Rocket League competition before because that game confounds me. It's so stupidly hard.
It's
Pisses me the fuck
ridiculous.
off.
The skill ceiling.
It's like
Yeah.
soccer, but with cars.
yeah,
right?
It's
Yeah.
pretty much
the skill gap is like stupid though.
So, like, to put it into perspective, I'm champion rank, which makes me top 7% in the world. Okay,
yeah.
but
No, but like the difference between you and the top 1%
pros,
is the same as the difference between
it's
you
not even
and
the
like a
top
beginner.
one. It's
Yeah.
the top like less than 0.1%.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The difference between like someone who's great and someone who's good is the same as someone who just started.
Like my old roommate is like top 3%, and like the gap between us is huge. But the gap between him and the pros is even bigger.
Yeah, it's so funny how hard this stupid fucking game is.
Yeah, because the
Yeah.
pros
And
are
how
playing
fun
at a
it is
level
to
where like
watch.
the ball doesn't hit the ground. Like it's just like all
Yeah, they're
aerial
aerialing,
attack.
they're passing to each other. It's just been nice to watch because like with this sport, it like goes on for an entire weekend. And so like
Damn.
every other weekend it'll be like North America or like Europe or something. And it's been fun to watch. Like for me, it's just I've never really gotten into esports, so it's been really fun. Like
That's what I was about to ask.
yeah. So this has been like something where it's like, this is another sport I can waste my time on, And
Because Rocket League, I feel like, isn't nearly as popular as some of the other esports games.
I would say it's still going up. Like obviously,
League of Legends is.
League of Legends
Yeah.
is really popular in China. Dota, you got Counter-Strike Global Offensive is another really big one. But yeah, Rocket League, the esports, it's back. I've been watching. They're going to London next weekend to
You have a
do-
team?
Oh yeah, Space Station Gaming.
Shout out.
Shout out to my boy Daniel, 15 years old, fucking smoking these like 20-something-year-olds. He is unreal.
Before you make your next pick, I gotta shout out. I'm not drafting this out of order. I just want to shout this out. It's a show called Players. It's on Paramount Plus. It's from the guys that made American Vandal.
Yo.
Oh,
Whoa.
and it's, I know what you're talking about.
It's
yeah,
about
yeah.
League of Legends esports.
Whoa, 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 whoa. What is this?
It's called Players
Okay.
on Paramount Plus. I just started watching it literally today. I haven't even gotten through the first episode. I watched like the first half of it.
Hey, no.
But
I'm interested.
We love
but
the
yeah.
boys.
I love
American Vandal is
I loved-
a
yeah.
genius,
Yeah.
perfect show. And to apply that to esports, to fucking League of Legends.
Is it like a docuseries kind
Yeah,
of?
no, it's the same. Yeah.
The same
But is it like
style
a
as
joke?
Vandal.
It's mock you.
Yes.
Oh, it's a mock.
So it's not
oh.
real.
That rocks.
It's right. It's the same thing as American Vandal.
Oh,
Why is
I'm-
no one? You find things that are just like
like why
This
is
is
this
a
the
somehow
biggest
like
show?
eluded the news.
right.
I'm 100%
Paramount Plus
correct.
like doesn't want people to watch this.
What's it called?
Players.
Players.
It makes
Players.
sense that
Okay.
Paramount wouldn't know how to market.
Yeah.
it.
Yeah,
This is not
Paramount
right
Plus
for Paramount
has
at
a
all.
garbage streaming
American
service.
Vandal 1 and 2 were both amazing
It's
shows.
These guys are on another level of recreating a very specific type.
What was
of,
it called? The Brownout in season 2. So good. That show is perfect. I love it.
Dan Peralt and Tony Yusenda.
Yeah.
Great guys.
All right, Danny, what's your next pick?
I have to look again because I completely forgot. Oh, I know none of you are gonna pick it. Maybe I don't know, but Love Is Blind season 2 and Ultimatum.
Hey,
They
respect.
it's trash TV at its core. Okay, it's hosted by Nick Lachey of 98 Degrees and his wife.
Hell yeah.
And everybody,
Is he not with Alyssa Milano anymore, or is it her?
I don't know what her name is, but
Danny.
I'm sorry, but the show is as trashy as it gets. Everybody in that show is so insufferable to like. If you were like in a room with them, you would hate your life. They're just the worst human beings. Like the more they talk, the angrier you get. There's no hero in any of these shows. You're just cheering for everybody to just like figure it out. You know,
It's both on Netflix, right?
both on Netflix. So Love Is Blind is a show about people that they go on dates but they don't see each other, and then like
They don't see each
they
other.
don't see
No,
each
Love
other.
is
Yeah.
blind. You
Love
fucking
is
idiot.
blind.
And they
God.
have to
Our
propose
democracy is
before
crumbling.
they see each other. Like they have to propose before they see each other. And
Yeah, or else they don't get to be
and
on
the-
TV anymore.
yeah, pretty
That's
much.
the consequence.
Yeah. And then they have to like get married, and it's just like awful people.
It's so stupid.
And then the
Legally
ultimatum
bound.
is even better. It's like shitty couples that have been dating for years that one of them gave the other an ultimatum
to
and it-
marry or break up.
Yeah, and what they do, brilliant. What they do is that they invite all the couples that were given ultimatums and they date each other and they
Right.
live with each other for 3 weeks. And it is awful. as-
Man,
like
just
dude,
I'm taking notes right now.
it's
Man.
mindless. It's just I loved it. My girlfriend put it on. I was like, this show sucks. Take this off.
no,
You know?
Danny. The
And then-
secret is they're all good.
Yeah.
And then
it's-
I was like, wait, who's Jeff?
the thing is
What's
you
he
have
doing?
to you
You know?
recalibrate your brain whenever you're watching a show
Oh,
like
yeah.
that and be like, oh, is this like genius? Is this the most
I have
entertaining thing I've
I have
ever
to
seen?
recalibrate my brain to watch good things.
Yeah,
now.
so what you do is you watch the show and then you recalibrate by listening to Boarding House Reach by Jack White.
There you go.
You know? So that's kind of like how you come back to like, okay.
yeah,
I'm
Right.
hip.
like you gotta refresh your palate with like Ambulance. I don't know.
Right.
Yeah.
I love this. I love this for you. We were just talking last night about how for the first time I'm finally watching Jersey Shore, because in high school I tried to be very elitist about it. They were trailblazers.
Yeah.
Everyone on the show. They took the real world idea of like, let's put people in a house, and then they were like, what if we made all the people so bad?
Yeah.
What if we found the worst people?
But Netflix doesn't have to censor anything. It's not full of bleeps.
Mhm.
Right.
Because on Jersey, it was like bleep every 5
A lot
seconds.
of bleeps on Jersey Shore. I'm in the middle of like season 2 right now. These people are just like irredeemably bad.
They should bring back Jersey Shore. I feel like that could do.
They're iterations of it like always. There after Jersey Shore there was Snooki and JWoww, which I'm going to watch because I do love Snooki
Again,
and
our
JWoww.
democracy is crumbling.
Yeah,
The world is falling apart.
It's an inherently awful show, but it's mindless. I liked watching it because I'm like, man, and it's something good to watch with your significant other because then they'll be like, wow, you're phenomenal.
Oh my God, there's an ulterior motive here.
Nah,
That's that is such a good
To
point.
just like put it in perspective.
Mitzel put
of, like,
on the
look at how
show.
nice
It
I
wasn't
am.
me. My girlfriend put it on.
Okay.
She put it on, and then it's just like, wow, we got it great. Like
We got a good thing
we
going
got
here.
it
Yeah.
great.
The bar
Yeah,
is
exactly.
low.
Imagine if both of our IQs were like 30 points lower, and also we both had like borderline personality disorder.
Oh my God. Yeah, it's brilliant. And like, there's just people that,
If you had to
Yeah,
pick
man.
one of the two, which would it be? Because you're doing a 2-in-1 here. I'll put
yeah,
both down. I'm just curious.
Love is Blind was a phenomenon. I saw a good amount of season
It
1.
is. It is. I think Ultimatum.
Ultimatum seems like a better concept.
That is
It's
an awesome.
It's a way better
concept.
concept because then you have like the jealousy factor of like
Yeah.
your old
Right.
significant other versus like all these people that are just pathological liars and borderline personality disorder, and it's like just all genuine pieces of shit.
That's all I want, man.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and it's great. It's great. I watched it, and it's just great to have a nice little snack in front, drink a couple Coors lattes, and watch.
I'm gonna do a pick when it's my turn. That's sort of based off of this
Good.
Nice.
idea.
You're welcome.
Go ahead though, Hunter. With
Hunter,
your
you're
like,
up.
good thing.
I'm gonna pick something that is not exactly what I would call trash TV, but it is television. And I'm gonna go ahead and take season 3 of Atlanta.
All right.
So we kind of alluded to this show
Going
earlier
just
whenever
after
we were
Love is
talking.
Blind.
I know, like just because Love is Blind was higher on my list, but you did take that.
Yeah,
You stole that from me.
unfortunately.
So,
In all fairness, I
um,
haven't watched Atlanta season 3 yet.
I've only seen the first couple, so I didn't
Yeah.
want
So-
to take
Well,
it.
that's the thing. I feel like a lot like Kendrick, it's just been washed away.
there's
by
too
the
much
content
shit.
stream.
Yeah, there's too much shit in the content stream that
Dave
just kind
just
of
did
got
it better.
forgotten
Get
about.
the fuck out.
I'm kidding. It was only because of the Twitter beef they had. The random Twitter beef that was completely unnecessary.
Yeah, of course. I think that this show, a lot of people forgot what Atlanta was in its time away. It has been 4 years since season 2 of Atlanta. And I think that a lot of people were disappointed with season 3 because they're just like, oh, this is like a very like classic television show with an A plot and a B plot. And we just hang out with our friends the whole time. And really, that's never been something that the show has been interested in. I'm pretty sure I'm going to steal this from friend of the pod, Andy Greenwald. But this isn't a show. Season 3 isn't a point in the series where it decided, like, where it went off the rails. Season 3 is when the show decided that it no longer believes in trains.
Well, when it became what Donald Glover always wanted it to be.
It's kind of anthology like
Yeah.
of the 10 episodes in this season, I think only 5 is with our core group, is with
and
our core 3
generally
guys.
speaking with Atlanta, the ones without are usually better, weirdly, because the cast is incredible, but the anthology episodes are just like you're watching a little baby movie.
Yeah, no, it's just like you're
short
watching
film.
a short film. And
Yeah.
FX has at this point just kind of given them free reign to just do whatever they want. They're like, you want to make a 30-minute episode? You want to make a 52-minute episode? You kind of just do whatever the hell you want with this show at this point. You want to do black and white about like a show that's going to determine a mixed race person, like how black they are, if they're black enough to receive a scholarship. Truly like insane shit on this show. And it's kind of like, I kind of understand, even if I disagree with some of the frustrations, because this show isn't like fulfilling the promise of like a narrative arc that I think a
not at
lot of
all.
people wanted.
Not
but
at all.
and like for that reason, this couldn't be season 1 of this show. If this was season 1 of Atlanta, everyone would be like, what the fuck is this shit?
Well, that's part of the magic trick. Like, they always wanted to do this, but you can't pitch this.
They backdoor made this everything that they wanted it to be. And it's insane. Like, some of my favorite episodes, The Big Payback.
Incredible.
Which is an episode starring our boy,
Justin Bartha.
What
if reparations happened in our reality?
To the National Treasure guy.
Yeah, to the guy from National Treasure. And people just showed up to their house and be like, I'm taking your house now.
Yeah. And it has that Atlanta,
like
dark humor the whole time.
Yeah, no, well, it's taking this idea. It always takes a idea that's out there in the public or that's out there on the internet, and it's just like, we're gonna go maximalist to this, and we're gonna make this like the opposition's worst nightmare. Like, The Big Payback is everything that conservative dudes on Fox News fear that reparations would mean, and not at all what would actually happen. It's like, black people are gonna come and they're gonna steal my family's home. Like, that's what this show is actually like. No, what if we did do that to you? Here's what it would look like. Fucking genius. The white fashion episode might be my favorite episode of the entire show, or of the entire season, I should say.
That's the one where Paperboy has to like be part of a
it's taking this
panel.
It's taking this whole idea of like, Gap cares a lot about Black Lives Matter, and that's why we're donating to the Red Cross of Atlanta. Like, kind of that idea of like that type of corporate wokeness that is so like surface
it's
level.
a cleanup job. It's like an H&M type of outlet puts out an advertisement that is so insensitive, but without even it's so blind to its own insensitivity.
Right. It's like kind of on the same level of the Khloe Kardashian Pepsi, like crossing the picket line to give the Pepsi to the police officer kind of thing. Yeah. It's fucking genius, dude. The show is like so good. It's so funny to me that the show is still like classified by like Emmy standards as being a comedy, because it's the comedy that I think that I've laughed the least at of any show ever. Like, it's just not.
It's kind of horror-esque.
Yeah, it's like not really interested in being funny, at least not traditionally funny in any way. Not even something like Barry, where they're like, we're gonna get a couple improv guys and they're gonna like do a bit about how like you have too many fucking dogs for one episode, just as like a throwaway joke. Atlanta doesn't really have throwaway jokes like that. It's stuff that like makes you uncomfortable, like seeing I don't want to spoil it for any of the listeners, because there's some incredible cameos this season. There's one specific cameo where they go to a bar in Amsterdam that's for canceled celebrities. That's so fucking good.
Genius.
It's like so
the fact that
smart.
That person decided to do that and say it's fucking crazy. I can't believe it. This show, again, it just is operating on its own terms, and I do feel that pull to be like, wait, why aren't we spending more time with these incredible actors? Why aren't there more scenes, more episodes with Brian Tyree Henry and Zazie Beetz and Lakeith Stanfield? Like, why aren't we maximizing the time that we have with them?
They also are less available now than ever.
That's the thing.
They're really busy.
What they did is they shot seasons 3 and 4 back to back.
Yeah.
And they're basically padding them out
and
with these other
exactly. It's because
shorts.
What they basically were shooting with that cast was just one season.
Yeah.
Like, if you put it all together all at once. So it's very economical, because these are people who are movie stars.
Yes.
As you know, especially Lakeith. Like, that man is that man's in shit. Brian Tyree should be in everything like ever.
And they're doing some of their best work here.
Oh,
like,
I'd say their best work, straight up.
Amazing.
Yeah, this show is like an actor's dream, particularly like an actor of color. Like, you get to really explore heavy shit.
Brian Tyree Henry has an episode in this season that is like, I think it's this and the season 1 episode.
The Woods.
Yes,
that
Woods.
was season 2.
Oh, that was season 2? Yeah, okay, so those are like really the 2 moments that are like the best thing I've ever seen Brian Tyree Henry in. That it's just like, oh my God, like you said, put this man in fucking everything, because he can do no wrong.
It's crazy, because like on the surface it feels like a completely different show. Like, you go back and watch seasons 1 and 2, and there's not a lot of connective tissue there, but it's still Atlanta, and it still has that desire to go deeper and to make you think and to make you feel like you're watching something that's not just entertainment, that it has something more meaningful to get at.
Yeah, it's still it's really funny that it went this late in the draft because it is like the best thing that we're
I did
talking
not
about.
expect for it to be here this late, but you know, you enjoy your Love Is Blind, Danny. I'm really happy for you.
It's a great show.
Atlanta.
You're jealous that I took ambulance.
All right, Drew.
So like I said, I wanted to take my next pick based off what Danny was talking about, how there's a real amount of like true feeling that you can get out of watching real people who suck that you don't get out of any other form of entertainment. Even the best fictional entertainment is still fictional. And this is a totally different vein than like reality TV. But I want to talk about Channel 5 with Andrew Callaghan.
Yo!
Oh, nice.
Because
This is special.
yeah, I think it's very like important what he's doing at this point. Andrew Callaghan is obviously he used to go by All Gas No Brakes. He had to depart from that company because
A lot of drama there.
Yeah, they were taking advantage of him and they took the name, et cetera, et cetera. But he kept his crew of he has 2 camera people / editors that he takes along with him.
Him.
Yeah, and then Andrew himself. He's basically a documentarian. He's going out into real life to like very, I don't know, some important, some not important events that were just like interesting or like, yeah, just people that you would want to be.
Crazy people is a
Insane
simple way to put it.
Yeah, most of the videos I would say, yeah, he's looking for create wild, insane people and just like letting them go on camera. There's so much skill behind what they are doing though, these guys. Part of it comes down to grinding. Like they really travel a fuckload and they get in, like they're willing to do the work to get press passes to certain events, stuff like that. And get in with like really weird fucking groups of people.
Well, getting the people on camera to feel comfortable enough to get as weird as they are.
That's a lot of that is on Andrew. I've come to recognize that he's very talented at blending. Like he will, even depending on which side of like the picket line he's on, he will change clothes.
Yeah.
Like just to fit in a little bit
but
better.
simple things.
Yeah, and he
very, very small decisions.
Because much like even like someone like Nathan Fielder recognizes, or like John Wilson, people will make their own bed if you just let them. He doesn't have to say too much to guide them. He just has to make them feel like he is not against them when he is talking to them. So he will go, I think one of the wildest videos he's done this year, he has probably like 12 or 13 of his videos will come out this year. They range in length wildly. They're all on YouTube, of course. Right after the Uvalde shooting.
Oh my God, that one gutted me.
Yeah,
dude.
The NRA.
Yeah,
one?
he went to an NRA conference that was in, I think, Houston, or
Wait a sec. Is this the one where Thoughts and Prayers?
I'm not sure.
I want to say yes. I don't know. So he goes to an NRA conference where there are obviously a ton of protesters inside. This is right after Uvalde. He also goes to Uvalde in this video,
Which is what got me.
Yeah,
like
he
he
goes-
cuts from a concealed carry fashion show at this conference where they're like,
which is like really high comedy.
Yeah.
It's like really funny. It's literally like a runway fashion show of people just concealing guns.
Yeah, just holding.
hard cut to the memorial of the dead kids.
Fucking
And
insane.
And it's just this moment of silence where you just like take a beat and he just like takes you from this jarring juxtaposition of these people celebrating guns at this NRA convention to this actual tragedy of this mass shooting.
Yeah.
And honestly, this is the best journalism I've seen
Exactly.
in the modern era, straight up.
I've learned more about like the Uvalde shooting from that video than I did from any news coverage, because he literally, a lot of what they do is just straight up guerrilla filmmaking. They go to where like the caution tape is at the shooting. Like they go straight up right there and like no one stops them. They're where the crime scene happened.
Talking to people.
Yeah.
Warning.
Or just being like, okay, so yeah, right where we are right now is like where the shooter was hiding out with his gun. Like it is so wild, the lengths that they go to just to get pretty standard journalism that you don't see anywhere else. And then on top of that, their mission, like quote unquote, is still comedy. They're still getting good comedy out of it while having a slant and while getting like real, true, like emotion out of you.
Yeah, I mean, that's the
It's
difference.
really
between-
remarkable, man.
That's the difference between something like Nathan or John Wilson, which is just at the end of the day, it's all for comedy, even if it's in a profound type of way. This is like the angles that Andrew is able to kind of get out of this stuff, going all the way back to the all gas, no break stuff, is like that he is actually trying to come at it from like a very smart view.
Well, they also
Like,
there are no limitations on what they can do anymore. Like for All Gas No Breaks was really geared toward getting social media length content. It was like he was directed to get Instagram length clips. And now like they have an hour-long video that came out this year called The People's Convoy, where they
Oh my God, that one.
Yeah,
man,
they
every
travel-
single one of these.
exactly they travel from New Mexico to DC with these crazy conservative,
And you're able
group.
to unpack maybe not everything, but like the broad intricacies of this conflict of what
Exactly.
of what this is about. You get all of the different perspectives, and that's the thing is like not only are you being educated, but you're also being entertained.
You're being really entertained
because these people are crazy.
and his
Yeah.
his editors, no matter what the scene, his editors do keep an eye out for funny
and the
edits that they
camera
make.
guys
I'm thinking
zooming
the,
in.
Yeah,
the
they'll do zooms.
Satanic Temple one is
Yeah.
just talking about like switching up just your entire like body positioning just based on which side of the picket line you're on. The Satanic Temple one is incredible.
He does that. The editors will they're really good at doing little tricks to make a stupid person look as stupid as possible. Through the edit.
The guy at the NRA convention with the My Pillows strapped.
Yeah,
to
man,
his
it is really wild. They'll cut conversations up to make someone look even stupider than they are, because in the moment Andrew isn't trying necessarily as hard as he can because he needs to keep that person on his
Right.
side, and he's really good at that. A lot there have been a million like offshoots, like imitations of what he does. Tons of people, like on the lighter side, the more innocuous side, like there's so many people on TikTok or whatever who just go out in major cities where like drunk people are and just talk to them. That's all fine and dandy. A lot of people will go like the more profound route, and the mistake that they make is they try to debate insane people. I'm not interested in watching
just
that.
let
I
let
already
him
know.
talk.
Yeah,
Let him-
Andrew is smart enough to know that we already know that these people are insane. We don't need him to like fight them. Like, I just want to like see them, how they operate, these fucking wild ass human beings.
Yeah.
Like the pathologies that he's able to really dig into compared to like all the imitations that want to like show off how smart they are
Yeah.
in the moment. It's just a whole different
Well,
beast.
it's the Nathan thing too of getting them to say things on camera
yeah.
that you wouldn't think that they would be okay with saying. That
Yeah.
it's things that like whether they're trying to like be performative or reaching some kind of like vulnerability, it's like this weird offshoot of like what you think somebody would behave in front of a camera.
It's really impressive. And I don't know, like it's like you said, like this is like it's like high journalism and it's also like low comedy. Like it's
Yeah.
all of it all at once. I've been really impressed with what they've been able to accomplish since splitting from All Gas No Breaks. Like they have pretty significant following. Like they've shifted more toward YouTube oriented content, and like they're getting multiple millions of views per video, and they're great videos.
And
so they're
also
doing everything right, basically.
The importance of staying on the pulse of this moment in America when things are so divided and crazy shit is happening and people are cheering on the side of the crazy people, they are able to put a human face to that and understand. And through these videos, you can understand that like what's happening in this country right now and the people that elected Donald Trump and that are cheering on these horrible things are people. They are regular human beings. They're not these like demon ghoul faceless monsters. And there's nobody else doing that. Nobody else is like making you look at these people as people.
He's very talented at it, especially considering he's done a couple good interviews on the Yeah But Still podcast where like you get to know him as a
The
person.
Jack Wagner one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That man is Andrew is like manic. Like he is like he's like a fucking workhorse. Like he talks a mile a fucking minute all the time. I wouldn't be surprised if he was on like an insane dose of Vyvanse or something.
This
but
reminds me a lot of Sacha Baron Cohen's Who is America?
no,
It's in that vein.
yeah. He I don't know if he worked on Borat too or not, but I know he's been working with Tim and Eric on like a similar type of project.
There is a movie coming out.
Yeah.
I heard. Yeah, it's in the works.
So yeah, because it's pretty easy to recognize that he is he's influencing a lot of creators in a really positive way. So I'm a big fan, big recommend.
Channel 5.
Yeah.
It's on YouTube. All right. I have 2 picks here.
Yeah.
My 2 final picks.
Last 2 picks.
I have 3 things written down, so I just have to pick from 2 of them and leave one of them out right now. So I think I'm going to go, my first pick is going to be Euphoria, season 2. I'm putting this here because this is potentially just going to have to get cut off from my end of the year list. It might not make it, but I need to shout it out because season 2 was a hot mess, and I loved every second of it. It was fucking so
Danny is
entertaining.
not looking as entertained.
I don't know. I mean, go ahead.
This is like your version of trash TV. Is Euphoria
Yes,
season
honestly.
2?
This is
Yeah.
like Jamiroquai. No, I mean, for me, like the show started off so hot and like emotionally it impacted me like so much. Like
season 1.
season 1 when
Yeah.
it started off. Season 2 still has like the incredible like cinematic experience that it does.
It
But
looks incredible.
it felt like they're almost running out of shit to like go through for me. It felt like very how can we make this crazier kind of thing.
Oh, yeah.
And
Which
it-
I loved. I love that.
Yeah,
They were just off the rails.
I think it's like it's weird because like it feels like they combine trash TV with like all sorts of like hidden meetings. I don't know what the show tries to be for me. You know, like the episode. However, I want to shout out Zendaya.
the Good Time episode.
Yeah, that episode is incredible.
Zendaya on the run.
When she's on the run and she's going through the withdrawals and shit.
Fucking incredible.
That episode was just like you felt like you were her.
Yeah.
You were going through the same things she was going through. But like then I see what's the blonde girl's name? Cassie.
Dude,
Yeah, Sydney Sweeney.
what a wild turn for that character.
That girl is just like crying every episode, being crazy. The play episode, like it's
so extra.
It's a wild show. And like I'm not saying it's bad by any means, but for me it was just
maybe
like
it is a little bad.
for me it was season 1 was just so like incredible and like I needed to watch more to like, all right, I need to finish the story. What's going on? You know, but like I did go through it. It wasn't bad enough that I stopped watching it. Like it was still a great show from like I completely agree with you on the fact that it deserves a shout out because it's so well done. I don't know if you watch like the after Euphoria, like after the episodes, like that's very interesting. I love watching that. But like there's just some elements to the show. It just feels like this is just for drama.
Of
you know,
course.
like this is
It's super elevated. Like
Yeah.
it's not trying to operate at any sense of realism at a
Yeah,
certain point.
for sure.
And honestly, I didn't mind that. I didn't mind that because the performances are so good that
A lot of
these
them are really
people
good.
know that they're not really playing real humans. And it's weird because like some of the storylines are really real.
Yeah, like
You know?
the old friendship storyline with what's her name, Lexi and
Mm-hmm.
Zendaya, like Aru, I should call her. But it's like those like that thing really hit me hard when it's like it shows like how close they used to be
Yeah.
versus
But then
like,
she's also doing a play about it.
yeah.
It's like Baby's first Charlie Kaufman movie.
By the way, the highest funded school play I've ever seen in my fucking
Yeah,
life.
the most extravagant sets.
What?
Like
In a
rotating.
rotating stage? What? Like it's wild.
But that's why I love it, dude, because it's like they don't care. They don't want to do something realistic. They don't want to be like, actually, there's no high school that would have the budget to put together something that looks like this. They're just like, no, We're gonna go for it. We're gonna do it, and we're not gonna try to make it be realistic or make any sense.
It's kind of like trash TV in the sense of like, who do you cheer on for in that show?
Lexi, I cheer for Lexi.
Yeah, Lexi, and man, what's the Rue's friend, the drug dealer? Fez.
Oh,
Love
my
Fez.
guy.
Yeah.
My guy,
What's-
Fez. Not looking good right now, Fez.
Yeah, and then his little
That was-
brother kind of thing.
Oh, Ashtray.
Ashtray, another
Yeah.
one. You know.
Yeah.
I need to watch season 2 because I fucking love season 1. I know I've just heard that it drops off to varying levels of how far it drops off, but that there is a drop off.
It's
And
still
I'm bummed
good.
because like the little one-off episodes that they did are incredible. The Rue episode, the episode with Hunter Schafer, who just like I fucking love her so much.
She was kind of really
I feel that she's kind of sidelined.
yeah.
She got sidelined this
Which
season for
sucks
sure.
because I think that she's like Zendaya is of course like the main piece about that show, but like Hunter Schafer was like the second best thing about season 1 of Euphoria.
Yeah. Dominic Fike comes in here and his character
I thought that was so random that he's in
Super
this show.
random.
What?
he takes a lot of that screen time away from Rue. And it is like this little love triangle that starts, or not from Rue, from Jules.
Yeah.
This
Hunter.
little love triangle that starts to happen. And I was bummed that that Jules doesn't get as much screen time as as I think she deserves.
It's a bummer. Sam Levinson, to be honest, one of the reasons why I wasn't as excited for watching the show, I know it's a completely different project, but after Malcolm and Marie, where we all collectively were like, Sam, shut the fuck
Right.
up. I think that kind
Yeah.
of
Well, also
put a little bit of a
after-
roadblock for me jumping back into Euphoria.
after Toys, when we saw what his
No, well,
father did.
That actually made me more want to watch it, and I found out there's no toys in Euphoria.
Well,
The toy is like a crack pipe.
Season 3 of Euphoria should just be a recreation
It's
of
in
toys.
like
Of
a
toys?
year. It's like more than a year from now.
We'll see. I needed to acknowledge this show because I feel like it's going to get forgotten. Maybe people will make an effort to call back to it at the end of the year, but it's just such a stacked year for TV that I think this is really just going to get...
It happened in like January,
Yeah.
February. Yeah.
I don't think it's going to get its due, largely because it was so messy, and there have been so many other shows that haven't been as messy.
Yeah.
But I wanted to shout it out because every week I looked forward to seeing it, even though I knew it was going to be all over the place. I still enjoyed it, and I still look forward to it. So
Yeah.
Euphoria season 2. So my final pick
Take us home.
is Robert Eggers' The Northman.
Nice. I'm
Nice.
really glad that you picked this just because I just want to give a couple thoughts on it.
Yeah,
It's a fun.
this movie absolutely slays. It is heavy metal, boys out, schlongs out in the lava of the volcano,
Floor is lava?
Yeah.
and it's a simple story done at this epic scale, and nobody does it like Robert Eggers. You know, going full Viking mode, going full Pharaoh mode.
You know, that's right.
Alexander Skarsgård stars in the lead role as the titular Northman, and he goes full Hulk mode.
He
Ruffalo
hangs
wishes.
dong. Skarsgård hangs dong, and you see it.
His shoulder muscles are. I was scared.
Yeah. He looks more like a bear than
Yeah.
he does like a human being with how like he's too jacked. The amount of like steroids that he took during the training for this is not what like a normal human
Oh, not
body
at all.
should look like.
But he
kind
looks
of-
like a Viking.
He
buy it.
looks like his posture reminds me of like myself in high school, just like minus all the
Oh,
muscle.
you looked like the Northman.
Well, minus the muscle. I did have the same hunch
Okay.
that he had that has labored me to this day.
But yeah, this movie absolutely owns. A lot of people have been talking about how this is like mid Eggers because he had to compromise. He didn't get final cut on this. He had to work with studio notes and work with producers and he was very
You ain't
vocal.
making a movie for A24 anymore.
Right.
You got a big boy budget.
He was
so-
very vocal about how much he didn't like the experience of having to answer to producers telling him what to do with his movie.
Like, I just can't believe that.
But at the end of the day, I think that, given the fact that we know that this is not specifically what he wanted, the fact that it still rips as hard as it does is amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. I mean, I can still see the spots where like he had to compromise and it's not the full untapped vision of something like The Lighthouse. But
It's literally not even square.
right. And it's not enough farts. There's only one fart in this movie, dude. You
That's
know?
amazing.
There's only one fart. They're doing fucking Hamlet. Hamlet's there's no farts.
You
in
There's
get-
it.
got to be more farts.
You get Ethan Hawke, you get Willem Dafoe, you get Nicole Kidman.
who farts?
Dude, Nicole Kidman giving, I think, the best performance of like the last 5 to 10 years of Nicole Kidman.
Really?
Nicole Kidman had to come back out here in one scene just to be like, y'all forgot that I'm fucking Nicole Kidman and I'm like one of the best actors of a generation.
I don't buy Nicole Kidman as someone living in Viking times at all. She
because
does
she's
not-
like too perfect
Yeah.
looking of a person.
nobody looked like that. No, nobody.
Everyone was fucking ugly in Viking Day. Hey, nobody looked like Alexander Skarsgård in Viking Day.
Are you kidding me?
Hulking wise? Yes. Have you looked at Alexander Skarsgård's face? He's
He gets-
hot.
Yeah.
There aren't hot dudes in Viking times.
Anya Taylor-Joy is in there too. So, yes, I get the criticisms of the places where this does feel like he had to make compromises, but they gave this man a huge budget to make a big Viking epic. And there are sequences in this movie that nobody else could put on screen except for Robert Eggers. It is just, please let this man keep making movies. Don't let the fact that this movie bombed and that it's now streaming on the cock be a reason to stop this man's career.
Don't let
Because
the cock stop this man. Don't let the cock block.
Right. He is a singular force in modern cinema, and we're lucky to have him. And this movie it's just another notch. Maybe not, his best movie. I think it might be the weakest of the three, but I don't think that makes it bad. I fucking love this movie. I think it's excellent. And I don't know. Maybe I might like it a little bit more than The Witch, just because The Witch is so kind of bare bones, even though that movie still functioned as like cinema as time travel,
Yeah.
which is what he's so good at. But this doesn't feel like a misstep, and it doesn't feel like it's out of place with what he's done before. It fits right alongside the other two.
It's kind of amazing. This is like the most visually interesting gray movie I've ever seen in my life. Like, it's just kind of like every frame is so beautiful, and also everything is so desaturated at the same time. Like, that's such a difficult balance to strike, because usually when you are getting films that are just so like beautiful, elegant, I'm thinking of something like The Green Knight. The fucking color in that movie is gorgeous. It's so beautiful at times, and there's moments that are a little bit more unsaturated to like add to the film, but like this movie is just all gray, and it's
in comparison,
fucking beautiful.
In comparison to Green Knight, this thing gets bloody.
Oh
Like,
yeah,
there are
well it gets
intense-
gory.
Yeah, there are
certain
intense
points.
action sequences that
Including
Green Knight doesn't have.
one sequence, which was like, there's a part of it that's in the trailer that is like
The raid.
one of the fucking coolest things ever. Like,
Incredible.
it jaw dropped in the theater watching it. It's the scene that's, if you've seen the trailer for it, where an arrow gets, or a spear gets thrown at Skarsgård, and he catches it midair and then spins around and throws it back and like hits a dude in the head.
And then it just
keeps going. He
Reverse,
climbs
reverse.
a wall with like an axe and just pulls his body up. That is actually him pulling his body up, his fucking jack triceps up there, up that wall. This movie fucking owns, dude. It's so good. It's a movie that I really, really want to revisit. I wish that it would have done better in theaters, so I could have had a chance to see it again in the movie theater.
It's on the cock.
It's on the cock now, so at least there's that.
So you can enjoy your ad breaks in between hypnotic
cool,
Willem
thank you.
Dafoe trip mushroom fart sequences.
Cool.
Yeah,
The Northman. That's my final pick.
great movie.
Drew, final pick.
quick one. It's an album that really took me by surprise this year. I've been posting about it in our music group chat a ton.
Jamiroquai did not come out with an album this year.
I have a torrent that would speak otherwise, but I did make it. It's me.
All right.
Fontaine's DC.
Nice. Yeah.
Yay!
Dude,
This album
Skin
bangs.
Tifia.
Yes.
The Lovable Lads from
Nice.
Dublin.
Man,
Incredible fucking album. I've never loved this band. They were sort of like a tweener band for me. I couldn't get which genre they were trying to fit in. This really solidifies them in like a post-punk, but post-punk via mid-2000s in a way that I really, really love. It hits me in a way like that seems very specific to like what I love. Like in high school, I was so deep into this exact scene of music. It's like, I would describe it as like if like Interpol and like the Libertines got put together, something like that. Like there's a lot of early 2000s, but it has the post-punkiness of something that what could only come out this year. Because especially coming out of like weirdly like Scotland and Ireland, there's so many post-punk bands now.
Also,
There's
if,
a lot of angst in that area right now. If you have paid attention to the news of things that are happening in the United Kingdom as of late.
if people listen to our Best of 2021 episode, they heard you mention that you like music in which the singer isn't really singing and more so just emulating sounds.
This guy's not like yelling the way that like the singer of Squid is. This guy is like droning. Like it's very like monotonous melodies lyrically. It just
Not
has
really
like
trying to hit notes.
I don't know. It's just a great album. It has this melancholic sound to it that I can't stop
Yeah.
listening to it. I'm a big fan. It hits me in a sweet spot of like my exact interest in like high school and my exact interest now musically. So I love it.
yeah, it's a great mix of like when you were younger versus like with a new jazz to it almost. Like even though it's not jazz, but it's like it. You put this album in our chat, and I was like, okay, you know what? I'll give it a shot. And I couldn't stop listening to it for a solid like 2 weeks.
It's great, man.
It's such a good album. I'm glad you showed me them.
You hear that, everybody? I contribute.
He's
to people's
got some
lives.
good takes when it comes to music. But yeah, Fontaine's DC. What was it? They did
Skin
a,
Tifia.
they did a Tiny Desk. Was it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Their Tiny Desk concert rules.
Yeah.
Cool
Great,
dudes.
great
Fontaine's DC. Guess what? In Old Irish means Dublin City. They're mad Irish. These
Hell yeah.
lads.
Okay.
I wonder if they're shipping up to Boston.
Get the fuck out of here.
Probably
What's your
that's
final pick?
that's the only city that's just more Irish than
Yeah.
Dublin.
Yeah, it is.
The New England Patriots are
Dude,
more
it's kind of
Irish than-
crazy, like how Ireland appropriated Irish culture.
Yeah.
That's true.
All right, Hunter, hit us with it.
So, second to last pick in this whole thing, there's a bunch of ways that I could go.
I get Mr. Irrelevant. So.
You do get Mr. Irrelevant. There's a bunch of like movies that I love. I could go with Vaxis, but don't worry, we're gonna talk Vaxis on the year-end pod. Instead,
the
I want to
hell?
talk for something. I want to give a PSA for an album that I've been fucking out here in the woods screaming about. That is one of the best albums of the year, and that's Alt J's The Dream.
Hell yeah.
This album is fucking incredible. It is, I think, easily the second best Alt J album behind An Awesome Wave, their debut. Their Awesome
perfect
Wave,
album.
An Awesome Wave is, it's literally, it's a 10 out of 10 album.
And
Like,
that's
no
the only
skips.
reason I haven't given this album a solid shot, because that was the last great thing they released. Aside from a few like Lucy's
Yeah,
in each
they have
album.
a couple good songs.
Yeah.
Like
couple-
3WW is a good
But like
song
as a
off
project,
Relaxer.
but as a project,
It's all
it's never
yours.
been like a full thing.
well, their
so to-
third album was straight up bad.
Relaxer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Relaxer.
No, I really love 3WW, the first song on that album, but
I like
otherwise
Dead
the rest of
Crush.
it is.
I like
not.
Dead Crush on that album.
But This Is All Yours is like, it's pretty good. Again, Every Other Freckle, Left Hand Free, a couple of good songs, but
And you're right saying
like really, I've gone on like an Alt J kind of deep dive this year, and this has kind of been the album. It came out in February, and this has been the album that I keep going back to over and over again. Like all these new albums are coming out, and
Just
whenever I'm
rolling back.
having a time in between, I just fall back into listening to this album. The Actor is probably my favorite song of the year. It's
cocaine.
Cocaine. There's a theme. There's a theme to the my list this year. Cocaine driven songs on my list. just fucking incredible. I really love the sound that they had. They kind of flip between this like poppy, almost like 80s kind of sound, 80s
they figured
rock
something
sound
out. I don't know what it is, but they whatever they lost, they found it.
They
again.
fucking found it. And like,
Yeah.
I want another 4 albums that just sound like this album. They also do have like some more ballad driven kind of stuff with a song like Get Better, which is like just a beautiful song that has like made me like choke up in the car while just driving around listening to this album before. Fucking beautiful album, or beautiful song, I should say. They're not afraid to get weird. Like they didn't lose that classic alt J edge to them. One, their singer is still the same. So that's a bar of entry for a lot of people. A lot of people hear that man open up his voice or open up his mouth and hear his voice and are immediately just like checked out. Like this is
It sounds
joke.
like it like tries to be folky, almost country.
Put it in my butt.
Put it in my butt. Put it in my butt.
But they are definitely able to get super duper weird with their instrumentation. I'm thinking of something like a song like Philadelphia, which kind of sounds like a mix up of like 3 different songs were kind of mixed together. But I mean that in like the best possible way. I fucking love this album. I'm telling you guys right now, the 3 of you, give this album another shot.
Oh,
I
love this
incredible.
album.
It's so fucking good.
Yeah,
I've been
I need to
giving it.
continue re-listening to it. I haven't revisited it since like 2 to 3 weeks after, and it's a good album. I definitely saved a few for my like massive like. It's like my favorite favorite songs from every album. I throw it into this massive playlist.
Yeah,
It's like
You and Me and Hard Drive Gold are like 2 great singles from
There was
it.
another one I had.
The Actor, of course, is incredible.
The
Happier
Actor
When You're
have-
Gone is like another one of those really, really beautiful songs that has like just a great beat underlying to it that just kind of makes you want to bop. But then if you actually dive into the lyrics, you're like, oh, song is like about like an abusive relationship.
It's very like the lyrics are so obscure that you really need to digest them. It's not something you can listen to and read without like, you need like a rap genius for it, you know?
Yeah.
Like you need to click the link and be like, what the hell is he
what are we
talking about?
referencing here?
Yeah.
Because
And
also
then-
all of their songs aren't just like about life experiences. They're referencing like things that they pick up in
like
the
books,
news
like
and books.
It's like
yeah.
random books you know nothing about, and it's you have to like actually click it and be like, he's referencing this chapter of this book, and then it's talking about this moment because this woman felt like this, and it's like it's very obscure. And then once you get the whole picture, and that's why for me, I haven't really like because that's what I did with An Awesome Wave. You know, like I actually took the time and read
Yeah,
everything.
you're on the Wikipedia page
What-
for triangle.
You have you have to figure out
What does he mean by triangles are his favorite shape?
Well, luckily he goes into it the line after that.
Yeah.
It is 3 points where,
where 2 lines meet. And I have bad news for him. That's
Did they-
actually not a triangle.
Did they
That's
tessellate?
toe to toe,
Tessellate,
back to
boom,
back,
boom.
let's go.
Yeah,
Joe Newman is his name, the name of the singer.
But great band. They're great.
I'm really
live,
sad. They were
too.
supposed to play in fucking Orlando, and then they had to cancel their show like last minute.
Yeah, them
just
and
such
Portugal
a
the
bummer.
Man, right? Yeah, both of them.
Yeah,
Okay,
no,
The Dream.
great.
Yeah.
All right, Danny.
All right.
Bring us home.
I'm gonna throw one honorable mention. It's gonna be like 15 seconds. Liquid Death. Liquid Death is awesome. It's
The water.
the canned water when you're out and about and like you don't want to continue drinking beer. Liquid Death. They started coming out with new
Danny,
flavors of sparkling
Danny,
water.
no free ads.
Hey,
No free
hold
ads.
on. I'm
Yeah,
with
what
it
the
though.
hell?
It's just like they have like mango, lime, berry. You're drinking it. People think you're drinking beer. You're not. You're just drinking water.
Why the fuck
It's
am I
great.
drinking a Kirkland signature hard seltzer then, Danny?
Okay, let's not fuck with Costco because I am king
No,
Costco.
I'm not gonna. I'm
This
not gonna say
costs
shit.
like 10 cents for like a 24 pack of this.
It's the best.
Because bulk buys.
It's the best. I love it. Anyway,
If I clip this out and put it on TikTok and at Liquid Death,
you think?
Do you think
Can
that
we
they'll
get-
just
Yeah, we
give us
might
some
get sponsored.
sponsorship?
I told you 15 seconds. That's all I got. Now, Mr. Irrelevant for me, Ozark season 4. The newest season that just came out.
everyone
this
is
year.
everyone is
pitch-
mad about the last
so
episode. Are
here's
you
the
mad
thing.
about it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Danny, I want you to pitch me why I should watch this show, because I watched the first episode and I said that's way too blue. I don't know what it looks like they put the fucking show through a filter.
I get that.
and I could
enough
not get
enough
over that.
Jack White album covers in my life.
Exactly.
Okay, the show is blue, but once you get past the blue,
It's Blue Abadi about to die.
it is Breaking Bad. It is Breaking Bad without the mania that Walter White goes through. It's Jason Bateman playing a person that is the only one that's sane in this show. He's brilliant. The shit that happens in that show, you're just like, what is going on? It's a great show. So this season, what they did, or what he did, I guess, was he split it into two different half seasons. And the first episode of the second half of season 4 was just like, dude, this is a finale, and you just threw it in the beginning, and it was nuts. It has so many elements similar to Breaking Bad when it comes to
Money laundering.
Better Call Saul, I should say. Like, the Better Call Saul has Lalo, and this show has a Lalo as well. And they're both
charismatic motherfucker.
The charismatic guy that's fucking evil.
Yeah.
You know? And it's like it's a good watch. I definitely recommend if you're looking for like a good drama. It's I would say it's like not as good as Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul, but it's like right there. It's so close to being there. If you can get past the blue, I promise you.
That's what my parents tell me.
It's worthwhile for sure.
Well, you didn't answer Drew's question though. People are pissed about the very end.
I mean, he said he's pissed about it.
Literally,
I'm not,
the very
about
last shot is what.
Because Breaking Bad ended in the perfect way. All the lines were closed. Everything was great. This was more so like the show ended or like the last episode started and you knew what was going to happen, you know? And
is it one of those things where it's just like it leaves it up to your interpretation of of how it actually?
Yeah.
The screen fades to white. It fades to blue.
It fades to blue.
They're in a diner eating, and then it fades to blue.
And then
And dark blue just starts playing.
Don't stop.
Dark blue, dark blue.
Jack's Mannequin. Shout out.
Ozark, dude. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Let me do some quick honorable mentions. These are the other things I had written down that I didn't get to draft. Guys, I said this in our chat earlier today. The Bear on Hulu.
I know. I want to start that soon.
This show is amazing.
Been getting a lot of buzz just in the last week or two.
Just like
my mom told me to watch this.
I've just seen great stuff from people, former service industry people.
Yeah.
Because it's a show like for people who used to be in the service
It might be a little
industry,
triggering, honestly, but you kind of
Yeah, I have to watch this.
want it. You kind of want to feel that like little bit of trauma from working in a high speed restaurant environment. It's really good, like fucking good enough to probably be on my year-end list. Winning Time on HBO, the Lakers show about Magic Johnson
Still need to see.
and Kareem, incredible show, sprawling.
Isn't it Magic?
Yeah, I said Magic Johnson and Kareem.
Okay.
Sorry. The guys they found to play those parts, perfect, incredible show. The new Mitski album, Laura Hell, great album. The new Spoon album,
Dude,
Yeah.
that's on my long list
What
of
is it?
things.
Satan on the couch? Yeah.
Lucifer on the
Lucifer on the
sofa.
sofa. Satan on the couch.
Hey, I was close.
what
I
is it
was close.
like God on the ottoman?
Satan on the
Also,
couch.
this is We Bought a Mic. We have to acknowledge our Lord and Savior Nicolas Cage and his movie The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent.
I still have not seen this, unfortunately.
I know.
but-
I want to
It's-
watch it too.
I didn't love it. I don't think it's bad. I think
The
I
previews
really
made it look so funny.
I appreciate what he did.
I think a lot of the weight of how funny it is going to be is like pulled by just the very premise.
yeah.
I found it a little try hard.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's guaranteed to be like decently funny, but like I would imagine a movie like that would be written by someone who's like,
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
it's like trying really hard to manufacture cage moments. You know how we had a whole category of like what's the best cage
what if
moment
we
in
just
our-
did all the cage moments?
It's like every 15 minutes trying to like create a cage
There's
moment.
a new Vampire Kiss rape scene. It's like, okay, we get it. We're cracking up and everything, but
Yeah, not enough hot yogurt though. Yeah.
SMDH.
I had to shout it out even though I didn't love it. I'm glad it exists.
All right. I have a couple. Album Oso. Album called Sore Thumb.
Yeah.
Really cool band. They've been on like the line between emo and indie for a lot of years. Before that was like a thing, they were on that wave, and they still are, and it's a great album. Decent season of Survivor happened this year.
Oh yes.
great. I would say
I'm
it's
shocked nobody drafted
Here's the
this.
thing. I think that after watching this season of Survivor, I'm like, oh no, I think we might have overrated 41 because 42 I think is better in
It
almost
was
every way
really
than 41.
good.
The thing is, if you go back and you watch certain, like I've been watching a lot of like older seasons recently, and like in the context of those, it doesn't hold up. That said, though, it's still a great show. Like it's just a good show in general, and this was a good season with like.
And unbelievable characters.
Yeah,
like
they
one
shout
of the
out-
best post-merge groups that they've had in a
Yes.
long time.
Shout out
Exactly.
to Redacted for winning,
Hey,
which I definitely called.
We did a draft with a few of us, and that was my first overall pick.
Yeah.
And
Shout
everyone
out to
laughed at
Jonathan
me.
for crashing and burning in the most spectacular way.
The
I'm pretty
dumbest
sure at
bitch
our
of all
mid-season
time.
check-in, we were all three of us were like, dominant performance from Jonathan. We all love Jonathan. And then he opened his mouth.
Yeah.
And we were like, oh, you're like really sexist. and, like,
Survivor
really not
drinking game.
great.
Anytime that guy talks to a woman and he's like, it's just like you're being really
Yeah.
aggressive. with
Has
me."
anyone checked Jonathan's
great.
Kill yourself.
Has
Jonathan.
anyone checked Jonathan's Twitter in a
So, like,
post Roe versus
Well,
Wade?
I do wonder, if anybody's ever like gone up to him and just like talked to him about like about Christianity,
Yo,
because
good
maybe
point.
like we would learn a lot. then.
Third thing, the 2022 NBA Finals. Fuck the Celtics. Go
So
Warriors.
that's in my least honorable
I
mentions.
I'm so happy for Steph.
Oh, dude, I'm really happy for
Let's
Jimmy Butler.
fucking-
I'm happy
Wait,
that
what
Jimmy
did you
Butler
guys
got an
win
extra
this year?
2 weeks.
Oh, you got the Larry Bird trophy?
Yeah,
Oh.
well, what did Jimmy Butler win? Like 2 extra weeks in the Bermuda Triangle, where he's
no. He won
gonna
this.
ask
Wait,
for a
so
trade.
how many championships have you won in the last 3 decades? Rhymes with Hun.
Hunter. It was Tur. They won Tur titles.
Was that it, Drew?
Yeah, we bought a mic.
We about to buy.
A couple other
Bye.
things to shout out. The Unraveling of Pup the Band.
Yeah.
Also one of my favorite albums
Great
of the
album.
year. Fucking banger. Probably second, maybe third favorite album by Pup. Just one of the most consistent
I'm
pop
kinda
punk bands
sad.
that we have.
When you dig into the subject matter.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. But it still slaps. The Batman, which I'm shocked is not on your list, Ernie.
It's gonna be in the year end.
Yeah, I
I
figured.
guarantee.
It's
it.
good.
Turning Red.
Yeah, great movie.
Honestly, also probably might be in the year-end list for me. One of the best Pixar movies of the last few years, especially after seeing a movie like Lightyear, kind of grew my respect for Turning Red even more. Melt My Eyes to See Your Future.
Yes.
Denzel Curry album.
The King, bro.
Honestly, was up there for a possible draftee for me.
So
Fucking
good.
owns.
Such a great album.
Guys, shout out to friend of the pod Dane for recommending a band called Soul Glow and an album Diaspora Problems that they had. Diaspora Problems, excuse me. This is like my 4th or 5th of these bad boys.
Hell yeah,
Really
brother.
fucking incredible album. Great, like kind of metal, heavier, not metal, but it's like it's definitely heavy. It's kind of like if Death Grips had more angst. Something like that.
What the hell?
What the hell?
And then Harry's House.
Speak on that.
I'll let Drew speak on
We
that.
have time
Drew,
for
do you have
that.
Harry's House thoughts?
We have time for
Second
that.
single, massive flop. We hate to see it. It sucks.
Very
I don't
Tim
know what you're
Robbins.
talking
Wait,
about.
wait.
know
Did
it.
you just say you're gonna redo your whole draft for only Harry's House?
Yeah, for only Harry's songs.
Yeah,
Okay, cool.
More like Harry's.
We'll leave
freaking-
it right at that
Harry's
because
timeshare.
we're long.
Okay.
We're out of time, and yeah.
Any other honorable mentions?
Oh, also, real quick, want to shout out the Charlie XCX album.
Crash.
I've just started getting into it. Lightning is also up there for one of my favorite songs of the year. Fucking rules. That song rocks so hard. That's it.
Second shout out to Denzel Curry. It's like an introspective album. It's not very in your face, heavy. Cook it up, go man. It's not like that. It's very introspective. The man is struggling. Yeah.
This man Danny spitting.
Yeah, you like that shit, you little slut?
You getting a feature?
Yeah, Denzel's album slaps. I think it might be best hip hop album of the year. For me. I'm just gonna shout out music. Mahal by Toro y Moi. Really good.
I haven't heard
Toro.
that whole album.
It's
just
a
a couple songs.
It's a great album. Fool's Life Is Yours is another great album this year. I'm gonna save the rest for Listomania.
Oh.
Okay.
All right.
Well, thank you so much for listening. Let me just real quick recap all our picks.
No.
I got RRR, Barry, Fear of Dawn, Euphoria, and Northman. Drew got Top Gun, Severance, Ambulance, Channel 5, and Fontaine's DC. Hunter got Jackass, Pusha T, The After Party, Atlanta Season 3, and Alt J. And Danny got The Smile, King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard, Rocket League Esports, Love is Blind / Ultimatum, and Ozark. So look out for a Twitter poll to see if you want to decide who
No
got the
Twitter
best.
bots. If I see a single fucking Twitter bot, I'm gonna go nuts. I'm gonna snap. Okay,
Guys, I don't know how to tell you this, but like I actually have a lot of siblings that all have the exact same name. There's like WBAM fan 1,
Yeah,
WBAM
there's
fan 2.
Hunter Mobley 8 through 73.
Yeah.
Me and Hunter, this is true. Me and Hunter do, whenever we do like a free trial for YouTube TV to watch basketball, like
a different-
we switch up making, he started by making one called like WBAM fan 69 at gmail.com.
So those are all
And now we have
Twitter
like
accounts.
WBAM fan
Well,
420.
no, and then I did WBAM Stan 69. And then my newest one is WBAM Boy.
Here's the thing. YouTube TV, make your service cheaper or sponsor the podcast and give us a free subscription. Thank you very much.
Hey, no, I keep doing what you're doing, YouTube TV.
Why
keep on
doesn't
doing
MB
that free trial? I
Why
love
doesn't
it.
the NBA just offer
Oh
like
man, you know
a
what?
$6
I
a
forgot
month?
to shout out one more thing. Hustle by Adam Sandler.
Hey.
Oh, I haven't
Hey.
seen it. Is it what scene?
Yeah, if you
Are you just like really like shouting out
basketball.
like Anthony Edwards just as a star? Shout out to him.
Love that man.
Yeah, no, it's a good movie. It's like it's very Adam Sandler-esque. If you like basketball, it's really good. It's a really good watch just because of all the cameos in it.
Right. All the
You
players.
got Anthony Edwards. You even got some Celtics. I'm not gonna say who, but yeah,
Is Peyton Pritchard in that? Oh my god.
Larry Bird.
Brad Stevens.
Wait, does Grant Williams play Catan?
Grant Williams deserves to be in nothing? That guy's a bum.
Don't worry, he'll be on the Atlanta Hawks
Hey,
in like 3 months.
Makes sense there's some Celtics on there because they're real good actors. That Marcus Smart, he fucking... You know?
Yeah, I love the final shot of Steph Curry doing the night, and Marcus Smart is just on the floor for some odd reason. Like, I'm so happy the Warriors won. They are on their but hustle by Adam Sandler.
I love how we were
If you
just having like a
basketball.
really nice time. We were just all having fun together and like getting along.
Do you remember when Jason Tatum texted Kobe? That was sick.
You mean the late Kobe?
Yeah,
In the
honestly,
grave?
Oh my
that's
God.
really disrespectful for you to like mock the
The
dead.
green
like that.
wristband or the purple wristband he wore? Sick.
He doesn't know that Kobe's dead.
Oh,
Oh,
nobody's told him.
shit.
Yeah, don't.
He thinks that Kobe hates him, and that's why he sucks so bad in the finals.
My favorite tweet was
Drew,
it
Ernest,
was like-
you can just like cut this pod off at any time.
Jason
I love how
Tatum-
we're at like hour 3.5 of this stupid
Jason
fucking
Tatum
thing.
texted air balls and turnovers and said, "I got you."
All right. Thanks for listening. Please be sure to rate, review, subscribe, comment,
You regretting that Duncan Robinson contract yet, or what?
and let
We'll
us.
trade
Man
it
who
today.
can't,
We're
he
trading
can't
it.
fucking
That guy's-
play, cannot get on the floor, and you're paying
He's a
him 20
morale
mil
guy.
a year.
He's the new Haslam, you know?
Oh, cool,
Like, you
yeah.
just need that.
You got to pay 20 mil a year to your morale guy.
Hell yeah.
You told me to start wrapping up, and then you kept going.
I'll do it. I'll do a post cut.
Comment and let us know what you thought of everything that we talked about. Thank you, beautiful donors, for donating. You can become a donor at anchor.fm/WeBoughtAMic and visit WeBoughtAMic.net for the full archive of episodes. This is an actual pregame of a special episode
Oh God.
that we are going to be giving you. Thank you, Danny, for coming on. and for sticking around for this very special bonus extravaganza that we will have coming. Stick around. You won't want to miss it.
You definitely don't. They're gonna fight.
I might miss it.
We love you. Thanks for listening and watching. Bye-bye.
I love you.
Bye.